God, I hate that song. Particularly that song, Wolf.
What song is it?
I don't know. I just wanted to say it to annoy you.
Oh, I don't know what the song name is either.
Well, don't see how that's my fault, personally.
Well, how can you hate the song if neither of us know what song it is?
It's true. Hello, ladles and jelly spoons. Do you know that's a good welcome thing, isn't it? 'Cause it plays with like kitchen utensils.
Your thumbnail
Ladles
still
and
have rags in
jelly
it.
spoons, aye?
Can you find a more suitable one for gentlemen than jelly spoons? I don't think so.
Genitals?
No, that's you can't do that.
That works. Yeah, you can.
I mean, you can, but people will judge. Oh yeah, we should
well,
since that's the first thing.
I'm just saying.
What?
Well, hey, you can't judge because I mean, gay people are allowed now.
Some people are like, where's Jared? It's like Jared was never actually coming on this podcast. It was gonna be Wolf's.
Yeah, we got some lore to speak on.
And
that
there
front.
are less furries than normal people here today, so that's
Yeah.
There you go.
And your thumbnail still have rags in it.
Oh. I mean, it'll be that's work. Do you really want me to just have to do things? That's rude.
Just saying, man.
I legitimately, like, all of my streaming thumbnails are terrible because I always forget to do them. Give me a sec. It updates, right?
Wolf rant about Siri. Okay. Well, anyone that thinks Siri should be black should stop.
Wow. There you go.
She ain't black.
That's like your opinion, dude.
It's not. It's actually like a fact.
Yeah, I was gonna say while I'm doing that as well, we've got a straw poll prepared to rename or give a name to this ridiculous thing that we're doing. You guys can jump in, you can vote on multiple names, really figure out what it is that you think should be the thing that we should do. There you go.
The Church of Jaredology, Girardi Mooney podcast. I love how half of them are of Jared. And
I was gonna say we're probably gonna have to, whichever one ends up being the highest voted. Whichever one the highest voted doesn't necessarily mean it will be voted. It's just so that we understand, what you guys are looking for. All right, thumbnail updated. Your audience will see it in a minute. There you go. It should be fixed now.
All right.
If it's not, it's probably Wolf's fault.
What the fuck? Why is it my fault?
I don't understand how it wouldn't be your fault.
It's not mine. Okay. In the meantime, we got how many people are here now? 300?
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, if you want to start telling the story of Jared Imundi.
Yeah. Okay. So we will cover Jared on my podcast on my channel, but we're not allowed to do it here anymore because Mauler's a pussy.
Do I get to say anything? Or like, no. I said I wouldn't cover. Well, in fairness, we were going to cover a video today called Q&A Part 2, I think it was, from him, where he basically says that everything he does is for the comedy and that he likes making people laugh. And so I was like, there you go, 100% approval. And there were people who were very concerned in the last stream that we were getting to the point of being bullyish with him, right, and using him to just generate laughs. So I was like, okay, as long as it's a symbiotic, like everybody's happy in the process, then I'm okay with it ethically, right? Because I don't want to bully anybody. So I told the Wolf this, so it was like, you shouldn't use your huge audience to bully someone. And I was like, fucking hell, I have a huge audience now? I was like, I had no idea. I thought I was still just chilling out with a couple of people, but if that's true, then I said I would stop the second that Jared requests that we don't do it anymore. And then he well,
hold on, I'll tell the rest of it because I found him first.
Okay.
Okay, so keep all that in mind. He never really requested that we stop covering him because he did say he's okay with being the butt of a joke if it's in good taste, which I don't know how he quantifies that, but oh well. But basically, Jared was in a happy place. Jared was so happy, in fact, that he danced in a thong for us for his 400 subscriber video. I dearly wish I didn't see it, but anyway, so he was in a good place, and then he just one day decided that he didn't want to be in a good place anymore, and he deleted his channel because he lost his mind. What little there was to lose, of course, and deleted just hundreds of hours of lore, which I'm sure someone saved at least. But
possibly.
But he made a new channel within like 5 minutes of doing so, and said on this, said on this new channel that he is a man of substance. Which I mean,
It's a record. It's a record. We responded 20-minute video in 5 minutes.
Connecting. I don't know if that's gonna separate.
And it just...
Do we need to like refresh the chat?
Chat saying welcome back.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Hang on, I'll just redo it.
Okay, well, 385 people are here, so I guess I can restart the story of Jared. So anyway, Jared, he lost his mind, deleted his channel, made a new one, and said he is a man of substance, and that he is 32 years old, and he wants more people that are 32 years old just like him, which I don't know why the fuck he would be so specific with that. But
also, he really
said,
let it rip on Rags, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he shit-talked Rags for a while, and the Ballad of Jared, that's wonderful. But basically, Jared said that he wants more people that will like him, not ironically, but because he thinks that people will like him, you know, unironically, which is never going to happen. So, I mean, he said in his newest video, I'm okay, you know, only 50 subs as long as they like me. And it's like, Jared, the only people that subscribe to you because you're funny. I mean, you just gotta accept it, kind of like Tommy Wiseau did.
Yeah,
where it's like, okay,
I think it's that exactly like that situation.
Because Tommy genuinely thought that he made like the next great Stanley Kubrick film, and it's literally the worst movie ever made. But he understands that people don't actually unironically like his movie. Everyone that likes The Room likes it ironically. And that's how he got his fan base. And look at where Tommy's at. He's at the top of the fucking world. Kevin Spacey can never make a movie again, and Tommy Wiseau's here at the fucking Golden Globes.
That's true, yeah. And
he legit made a good film, right?
Oh yeah, Best Friends was like actually unironically pretty good.
The thing is,
although it was not directed, written, or produced by Tommy, so
I could genuinely have seen happening, right, that down the line Jared hits like 2,000 subs, and then he makes like a video that actually has like a decent take on something, and people are like, you know, this is actually decent, like this is good, you know, and he'd start getting appreciation from people who aren't just looking at him as a meme. But he said, that's the weird thing, he said he likes to be the butt of a joke when it's fun and stuff, but he doesn't want to be a meme. And I was like, isn't that not the same kind of thing though? It's like, how does that work?
The problem with Jared is that he hasn't gotten out of his he hasn't gotten out of the initial Tommy Wiseau phase. He needs to get into the current Tommy Wiseau phase and just accept that he's a meme, because people will actually follow him for that, because that's what he does best, is just acting fucking weird and making people laugh. But he doesn't want that. I mean, that was the most subs he's ever had, and he threw it away because he's a man of substance. I don't know.
And genuinely, like, Wolf will still cover him on his podcast. The reason I'm not doing it here is because I don't know, he's like a time bomb, and I can just see it happen in the future where he'll just make a video and be like, I am depressed and it's all because of the coverage from these guys' streams or something like that. So I'll be safe and just be like, oh fuck it. If he's gonna be, he comes across a little bit like flip-floppity, you know, because he said like one thing and then just completely walked back on it in this new video and delete his channel, which to me, I'm like, whoa, he's willing to make some very crazy decisions instantly, you know, because the last we heard from him was he was coming on the stream.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's bipolar, because it's like he was like actually happy. He was even like making parody videos. I didn't watch them because I don't think that Jared trying to parody himself would work out too well. Because I don't think you can parody a parody.
Yeah, that was weird. That was strange. But yeah, that's to update you guys as to why I won't be here, but it'll still be on Wolf's, and I assume that what you can do now, Wolf, is just like find the very best per podcast, isn't it? Instead of just like whatever's new or whatever. So I'm sure it'll be great.
Means we'll have a lot less time to laugh and a lot more time to groan.
Yes, we have. Yeah. I figured since we're vaguely trying to be, you know, an actual competent podcast. Did people vote in that straw poll? I haven't checked it yet.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
Oh, they did.
Every frame of pause is the biggest one.
We'll have to keep posting it throughout the stream for all of the people who pop in. But yes, vote in. We will decide on actually giving this a name. And let's say this is the first official doesn't have a name podcast yet, but it'll be me every time, more than likely Rags and Wolf every time, depending on who's free at what times. And then
there was a huge miscommunication. So Raz can come in.
And then we'll have guests more than likely as well. And so, Appabend, welcome to the stream. You're the first guest, honorary
You're the first
guest
brown person on this show.
That's also true. We are a very diverse stream.
Yes, I want to make sure to come in here just to make sure that Patrick Willems cannot criticize you because you're white.
I was going to say, I figure it makes sense because you've made your video on Patrick Willems, so you'll be able to see the follow-up.
Yes.
See, have you seen this video yet?
I haven't.
I've seen the first 2 minutes and then I stopped because I like it when you get sort of like the initial blast of hilarity from this. But yeah, I've heard a lot as well, and the comment section's already turned on him. It didn't take very long. Like apparently he's making some really fantastic arguments. We got that to look forward to. I checked out some of the comments from the last video, and something that we probably should have mentioned in conclusion on Macintosh's video was that like the entire point of his video was how we have this toxic expectation that to be a man is to essentially die to, you know, save the world sort of thing, and that the film sort of subverts that. And it's like I think we might have pointed out, but just the hilarity that Holdo and Rose Tico's sister do those things exactly, and they're sold as like really heroic moments. So it makes you wonder like, how does he reconcile that? But yeah, a lot of people were like, why didn't you comment on that? And it's like apparently we missed it, but very much an overall criticism of his video that just makes it fall apart. And there are
laughing at his fucking stupid voice.
There are people who are very unhappy that we've been doing this, basically responding to videos, and the accusation
there
is
are more people unhappy that you didn't read the super chat.
Oh, I usually do them in a row. I've still, for anybody who's concerned, I've got the super chats from when the stream like screwed up. We've still got them. So
yeah, I'll try to read some of them that are they're already been posted, because there's a bunch of super chat in your last stream. There's the one that failed.
Oh, I'm sorry if I miss any of those. That's my bad. But yeah, we people have been saying that Wolf, Rags, and Mola are not supposed to be YouTube police. That's not what we're gunning for at all. We're literally just watching these videos. Like,
oh really? I'm sorry. I thought we were the YouTube FBI personally, but I guess.
No, we're not trying to be the police. What it is we watch these videos with you guys and we're like listening to it. That's usually what I think is the biggest problem for these people's videos, is they don't actually want you to really pay attention, because half the time
it's kind of like that, like if you've seen that meme on Twitter every once in a while and it says what it's like to be watching a podcast, and it's like some lonely black guy eating cereal with a poster of a bunch of white chicks laughing. It's kind of like that. You're just like the lonely black guy that's eating cereal while watching 3 neck-bearded YouTubers laughing at things.
Exactly. And by the way, the reason we're covering this one first isn't because we hate Patrick Willems. This has been requested like crazy again. We just get like loads of PMs being like, you have to cover it, and we like to cover.
Patrick is such an infinite source of stupidity that it's like impossible not to like address it. It
is fun to cover him, and I've heard that there is a reference to me in this video, so that's interesting as well. It's not a direct reference. It is I think I'm referred to as the angry guy who made 5 hours of ranting on The Last Jedi. That's what I've heard he says.
Man, I wish I had like an air horn so I could like just do the as soon as he says it, because I know what the reference is.
Yeah, so I got Nerds with a Heart from Akiba Voorhees, so thank you for that. And The Last Jedi cries out in pain as it copyright strikes you, Bilbo Baggins, the Daily Sauron. So those are the two before the stream went down, I think.
Hold on. There's one in the chat. It's not a super chat, but it's Trix Rock is gay. Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins says a lot of stuff, man. He gets around. Have any of you ever covered a video? Have any of you ever covered a video where some cuck argues the sequel trilogy is basically an improved version of the OT? I swear you have. Am I crazy? I've not actually seen a video like that.
That's pretty much every single one of these people, anyway. So it's like, well, they're all cucks, and they all think that the sequel trilogy is better than the OT or as good. So they all just kind of, blend.
Oh yeah,
together.
there was a clip in my the third part of my TLJ one where I think it's New Rockstars or Collider, some channel like that, where they said, let's be honest, the new films are just the old ones with better acting, better effects, and better something else. And I remember being like, oh god.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I definitely threw it in.
Wrong.
So I think I just play the clip and go, no. Because it's just like, stop. Terry Crews' Siri, I'm pretty sure that's we'll get to that, right? Like,
I perfectly agree. Like, I mean, if you're gonna make Siri black, you gotta make it Terry Crews.
I would watch the shit out of that.
I mean,
Yes, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Why not?
Give him like some shitty white wig and just have him go, "Yo, Carol, I'm gonna go kill them wild hunt niggas." It's like, okay,
And I mean,
I'm okay with this, Siri. This is the best iteration.
do we want to see him and Geralt hook up? That's my question. I don't know.
Well, as long as shit, I don't know who's gonna bottom.
Superman and Terry Crews. That is an interesting, like, I think that'll be the finale for the season.
We gotta have him like wrestle for it,
Oh yeah, there is. I have a second channel where I'm storing these podcasts. There's too many links. I gotta make sure I have a link for Appabend's channel, and then also for the straw poll, then also for my second channel. I don't like podcasting. It's too much pressure, guys.
Isn't Wolf a cucked soy-based Trump hater?
What?
Most people call me alt-right. I don't know where the fuck you're getting that from.
We got a comment on the last stream that said, couldn't go to beer more than 5 minutes. I hate Trump fans or something like that, and I was like, wait,
what?
Did we mention Trump? Like, I don't.
Not that I remember, but it's also 5 hours, so it's hard to tell.
Like, we don't know what we said after an hour passes.
It's like I just got banned from Twitter for 7 days for saying things that were deemed too right-wing. I
don't get that. You have to keep reminding people you voted for Bernie Sanders, don't you?
I gotta keep reminding people that I'm not a Nazi, but people just make up whatever the fuck they want. They think I'm. It's funny because both sides hate me. I get one side that's like, "Oh, you're all right," and the other one's like, "You drink soy because you hate Trump," and it's like I give credit to Trump more often than not.
You
okay.
drink soy. No.
You didn't join Alt Furry. That's why people hate you.
Like, okay, there's only one thing I drink, and it's generally Pepsi, and I'm not seeing any soy on here.
Diet Pepsi is filled with soy. We know this.
Well, I don't drink Diet Pepsi because I'm not a faggot. So.
Regular Pepsi is also filled with soy. I'm pretty sure.
It's not. I'm looking
that's
at
probably what it was. The Colin Kaepernick stuff. That was talked about right at the beginning, I think.
Because I said it was fucking stupid to light your shoes on fire.
Well, the interesting part was I just asked you guys what happened because I don't know anything about it, but apparently that makes me a Trump supporter as well. So interesting. But yeah, we got woohoo, finally catching a stream on a day off. Love you guys. Looking forward to 5 hours of fun. I hope you both available for 5 hours. We've got nothing else to do in your lives. That'll be great.
Wolf question: Aragorn versus Geralt fight. Who? Oh fuck! Fuck you for making me have to answer that.
Damn.
Shit. I'd say, Geralt only because he uses magic and Aragorn can't.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it was a fair fight, then oh fuck, that would be a. Well, Geralt gets his ass kicked a lot, so I'd say probably Aragorn if the fight was fair. Wolf, how's it feel knowing we know you're a pleb for dropping The Expanse before episode 5? Well, I like The Expanse books, but I mean, if the acting wasn't shit, if the effects weren't shit, if the soundtrack wasn't if the I don't know, the show like loosely follows the books and just has a lot of terrible effects. Like obviously the acting is abysmal because it's a fucking sci-fi show. So
I haven't seen it, so I can't call him if he's wrong on this. I'm just gonna have to say I trust you, Wolf. You're probably 100% right, and I'll never watch the show thanks to that.
They fucked up Miller, best character in the whole first book, and they fucked him up. Damn, some fucking faggot with a shitty haircut.
We've only got 2 left that we could start. So YouTube police would have to arrest Wolf for furriness. I'm not even 100% sure on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. We make some type of drinking game. I mean, every time we pause would kill you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to leave it to the audience to come up with it because you know, we're not creatives. We don't. Me and Wolf and Appabend, we don't really make anything. Typically speaking, we just sit here and talk into the void.
We just leech off of other channels.
Exactly that. That's 100% it. Harley Morenstein or Steins of Epic Mealtime has made an hour-long video telling people The Last Jedi doesn't suck, we suck. I'd love to do a video on it. I don't know if we can do hour-long videos on this. Like, we'll never be able to complete an hour video, will we?
Nah.
Oh no, like I still don't know how we're gonna do that TRO stream.
Yeah, I know that's gonna be interesting.
So that's 2 hours. We're gonna have to like, well, no, because we can't cut off the long rags clips, because then that'll like hurt the ability to respond to their points.
Every time Wolf sighs in defeat, take a drink. Wolf go like.
That makes sense.
So anyway, just to send out the 3 links that I actually do need to promote as a responsible podcaster. Straw poll helps decide on what name we're actually going to name this thing. Our guest is Appabend, where you kind of have to subscribe, otherwise you're not really a true fan of this stream, because let's be honest, that's how it works. And then and then this podcast will be stored on my second channel. So all 3 of those links, there you go. I'll probably have to do it again after.
I love how someone asks, "Where's dude?" when this isn't. this you realize you're watching Mauler's channel, right?
So yeah, are we? Is everyone happy to begin?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not happy, but I will begin.
We all know The Last Jedi very well, and it looks as if we're about to be schooled on why it's actually great
by the racist himself.
Hey man, it's not not to sidetrack, but I think it was H Bomber guy who was asked on Twitter recently, why is it racist? No, is it racist to say that Japanese people suck? But also not racist to say that white people suck, and then he said yes, and then I looked at like the responses, and I don't know, man, that side of the aisle, like they 100%, and I don't know what side of, it's like a giant circle, whatever side they represent, but they were all like, yeah, it's totally not racist to say anything bad about white people as a whole, and it's just like, how does that work? Is that being updated in the dictionary yet, that racism is about power as well as race? Because if
that happened, I feel like there would be riots in the streets.
For changing the definition
he's
of
still very salty because the Japanese turned Sherlock Holmes to an anime.
What?
Is that a bad thing or a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah. They actually did, and he said it in one of his videos, and he's like, he got so fucking salty about it.
Huh. Well, either way, I don't get the rules. I've talked about this with other people before. I was just like, if they could just provide me consistent rules on this whole thing, then maybe I could get on board. But seems like they contradict themselves quite a bit, so it gets confusing. Anyway, Patrick Willems has previously said that if you're a white critic, you won't have much to offer on black films, I suppose. Obviously, the reference was Black Panther, so that won't be coming up here, because there's plenty of people who are white in Star Wars, so we can still offer something. I think that's how that works.
How often do you think he's going to tell us that because we're white, our opinions don't matter, as he's a white guy telling us?
That's the other thing people would point out. It's like, how does that work?
That's why you have me here. That's why you have me here, so that I can validate you guys. That you guys,
oh, thank
your
God.
opinions matter.
So basically, you're our brown knight.
You shine a light in the darkness for when we're wandering around, wondering if we're racist or not. You are proof that we are not. So
no.
I suppose let's begin.
Previously on Patrick Explains.
I thought you were finally on your way back to the city.
Skid.
Wow, I feel so awake right now.
It's 3 a.m.
Do you think it's that tea he's been drinking? Is there
soy tea? Wait, pause it. Now I gotta see what the ingredients are to Barry's tea.
You just want to find out if there's soy in it. Are you serious?
Well, I genuinely want to know, because if it is, I think that will be absolutely hilarious. Let's see.
So it's strange to bring in
made in
parents,
Ireland.
I'm assuming that this is something he's done before, otherwise wouldn't this be very strange for the parents? I don't know.
Barry's tea. Why won't it show the ingredients? That's what I need to know.
Wolf doing the important investigations.
Well, you know, people need to know.
True, it's true.
Okay, even if it's not there, he can actually just pour soy milk in it.
Yeah, Wolf. It doesn't prove anything.
That is true, because he did have that jug of milk with him in the last video we saw.
Exactly.
I mean...
okay, here we go. No, wait, that's still not it. Shit. Come on, where's the ingredients? You'd think you just have this.
Do you
Why
want
probably gonna add the soy later.
The shop. Here we go. There's the red one. What the hell? Okay. Just go on with the video. I'll keep doing my.
All right, you continue the sleuthing in the background, I guess.
Trick, what's going on?
Nothing. I just wanted to come back, see you guys, and have a chat.
What's with the camera?
Oh, I'm recording this so I can put it on the internet, obviously.
I think we're ignoring the bigger question. Who's that person next to the camera?
What's up? Oh, that's just my intern.
How the hell?
He has an
Is his
intern?
mom Irish?
Yeah, apparently.
That's weird.
That's interesting.
A lot of Americans seem to have been kids of people who've immigrated over, I guess. But I guess the dad is American, the mum is Irish. I'm a little bit confused, though. I don't know. This is a bit of a strange format,
Nation
but
traitor.
fair enough. Also, he has an intern.
I'm not sure what this skit is supposed to represent.
I'm assuming there's going to be a payoff, like, or is this a format? Maybe it's a format that he runs where he like explains films to his parents or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see.
There's soy in tea. There is soy in it.
Isn't it dependent on what tea you're using?
I guess. I don't know. It's Barry's tea made in Ireland.
It's fascinating how invested you are in finding out.
Well, I just really want to know. Because it would just be like the cherry on top. Like, well, I mean, the cherry on top would be if he's a Jew. This would be like the whipped cream.
The edge. Too little edge. You gotta crank it up, Wolf.
How do they get an intern?
Usually I'm here to talk about movies I think are underrated, that don't get the attention they deserve, but this one is different. I want to talk about the biggest movie of 2017, a movie that pretty much everyone who watches movies has seen.
Is it the biggest movie of 2017? It probably is.
Yes.
So I was just thinking, like,
yes, it is.
Would 2018's biggest movie be?
You said one correct thing. That's.
Would it be
better.
Infinity War would be the biggest of 2018, or is it someone else?
Oh, undoubtedly.
Probably Black Panther's the follow-up.
Yeah,
to that,
Infinity War or Black Panther.
I wonder if it did better than The Last Jedi or not. Like overall, or even an opening box office. I'm not even sure, but yeah, fair enough. That's probably true then.
I want to talk about Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, because for some reason, a whole lot of people don't like this movie.
Yes.
A lot of people...
for some reason.
Yes, they don't like this movie.
It's almost like he doesn't know. Kind of like, you know, how he admitted to only talking to people he respects and likes because he lives in an echo chamber.
You know what? I can actually say I understand why people like it because I've heard what they say about it. It's not necessarily accurate to the film every time, but I know what they say when they say they like it.
My sister likes it. Then again, she's dumb.
Oh.
And my brother did like it.
But then again, he's also dumb.
No, my brother didn't like it. My little brother didn't like it because he saw when Admiral Akbar died, he was like, he stood up on the theater and it's like he pulled his two middle finger on the screen. It's like, I'm not kidding.
Genuinely, I had missed it on my first watch through. I missed it on my first watch through that they said Admiral Akbar died, and I was like, when I finished the film, I hadn't even thought about the fact that he wasn't there yet, and then I remember reading online that it's like they unceremoniously flushed him out the freaking ship, and I was like, really? Like, I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, he was so pissed in that. Like he just stood up on the freaking theater. It's like he throw his middle finger on the screen. It's like, Jesus Christ, brother, chill.
Yeah, it's crazy that they at least Akbar earned a throwaway line. At least that's what he got that, you know. What did the brand new character that nobody connected to at all, Holdo, get? It's like she got probably one of the most self-sacrificial set pieces in the history of Star Wars. But just
It
you know,
could be him that sacrificed himself in there.
yeah, because I don't even necessarily defend the ramming maneuver, but fucking hell, throw Akbar in there instead of Holdo. Make Akbar the one who wouldn't tell Poe the plan, whatever. Just why do you need Holdo?
He could even scream it's a trap as he's flying it into the supremacy.
Wait, a lot of people are saying F. Does that mean the stream's down?
No, F just to repay respect for
Oh,
Akbar.
okay.
Yeah, F for Akbar.
Why would you? The film didn't pay him respect. Why, like, it's no point.
Are really angry about it. Now, instead of telling you why you should see it, since everyone watching this already has, I want to tell you why I love it, because I do.
Good
I
for
think
you,
this
man.
movie
Good
is
for you.
goddamn
Good for you.
I was gonna
Good for
say,
you, man. Good for you.
he can. There's gonna be a big difference when he tells us why he loves it. Is he gonna cite things that actually happened, or is he gonna make stuff up? Or is he going to change parts of the film? Or is he going to ignore parts of the film? Is he just going to say, I loved it? Because that's fine. You're welcome to love it. But when you start telling people stuff like, Poe didn't tell her the plan because... Well, she didn't tell Poe the plan because it makes total sense and I love it. It's like... I guess that'll be the interesting sort of line crossed.
Go on, Patrick.
It is
go
easily the best Star Wars movie since The Empire Strikes Back, and today...
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Oof.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I missed that.
Oof,
I'm sorry, what? I missed that. He talked about Empire last time. I missed
A lot
that.
of people are really angry about it. Now, instead of telling you why you should see it, since everyone watching this already has, I want to tell you why I love it, because I do. I think this movie is goddamn incredible. It is easily the best Star Wars movie since The Empire Strikes Back, and today...
No, wrong.
So he's
wrong,
saying it's better than
wrong,
Return of the Jedi,
wrong,
all the prequels,
wrong,
Force Awakens,
wrong,
Rogue One,
wrong.
and Solo.
That
I will watch. I'd rather watch the. I'd rather watch the Ewok Adventures movies than watch The Last Jedi again. Because at least like the Ewok Adventures movies were so bad, it was like kind of funny.
The
because,
characters will
like,
be given respect in the Ewok movie.
At the very least, it was just funny to watch a bunch of little teddy bears beat up Tusken Raiders that were on Endor for no reason.
it's fun to see Ewok watching porn.
Why wouldn't you
Yes,
just
Mr.
say I
C.
like it more than all the other movies? Why do you have to say it is better than everything since? We're just like, okay, making it harder to follow along.
But seriously,
sure.
Patrick, do go on. Do
Yeah.
go
We're
on.
gonna
Do
talk
go on.
about why.
So just to clarify, by the end of the video, we will ask ourselves: did Patrick explain why The Last Jedi was great?
Good question.
It'll be
Good
interesting to
question.
see if we get there.
So I realize I already lost a lot of you right from the title of this video.
Don't worry, we're gonna stay. We're gonna go through the whole video,
No,
buddy.
No. As Rag said, if you actually tell me that The Last Jedi is good, I'm gonna be like, go on.
Yeah. It's like, all right. This is the thing. There's a difference between us three and Patrick Williams, or us three Rags and whoever else, and Patrick Williams and whoever else. It's like we will actively look for the opposite perspective because we want to hear it, instead of just being
Yes.
like, no, I am above that sort of thing. I shan't be looking at people I do not have respect for. It's like, all right.
Some of you are only here because this showed up in your recommendations, and you wanted a new opportunity to tell a stranger about why you hate this movie, but I just want to say something right up front. If you are a person who thinks that SJWs or diversity or feminism ruined this movie,
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's
Yes,
anywhere near
yes.
that simple. There's a shit ton of things that ruined the movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
they were all problems, but they weren't everything that destroyed the movie.
How you classify, like,
Yes, but do go on. Yes, but do go on.
I was just gonna say, it's just
or
like,
if you're going to tell me that I
it's just, yeah, there's so many things wrong with it. Like, those things could be labeled that encompass a huge selection. But what did he say that he would say to the people who say that, though?
SJWs or diversity or feminism ruined this movie, or if you're going to tell me that I'm a Disney shill, or if you're going to tell me that I should watch a 5-hour
are.
Oh, I think that's my bit right there. I think he's about to mention me.
or feminism ruined this movie, or if you're going to tell me that I'm a Disney shill, or if you're going to tell me that I should watch a 5-hour rant by some angry guy on YouTube.
No.
shout out! Shout out! Oh, shout out!
I am
I just
the
have
angry
the
ranting
Mario
man.
death song every single time that he says something stupid.
You just fucking
Oh, you
ripped
just
that from
found that.
DP. That's where you got that from.
What?
Remember they used to play that for whenever Vigilant Christian came on.
That's where I got the idea from. I was like, okay, let's think of because I can't do air horn. Well, I guess I can do air horn.
I do have air horn.
I will
Okay,
happily.
I'll do the Mario. You do the air horn. We'll make it together.
I don't know if you guys have seen all those videos I made, but like the rage one is angry, sure, it's in the title, but the critique one I was pretty calm throughout most of it, and it was very scripted. Like I was very descriptive. I wasn't exactly going blah 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 blah. But I guess I am some angry guy, which by the way gives us an insight into people like him and Macintosh, where you know when they say like the angry fans. I want to criticize them, not the ones who just didn't like it. And it's like, I guess we slot in there, even if we explain ourselves, you know, very slowly and very calmly. It's like, no, we're still the angry ones because we didn't like it. That's how it works enough. I mean, you could probably find a part of that 5 hours where I sounded angrier than normal, but still, you know.
Well, look, I'm happy because at least my hairline isn't that bad.
Oh. That is an ad hominem. You just said his arguments are bad because of his hairline. It's like no,
say that.
no, he didn't. It's okay, guys, calm down. He didn't. He's just being a dick. It's okay. So yeah, I am the angry man. I will have to accept that, I think.
Or if you're going to tell me that I'm a Disney shill, or if you're going to tell me that I should watch a 5-hour rant by some angry guy on YouTube, or if you think I should kill myself because I liked a movie.
Do people
Hang on. Kill yourself because you liked a movie. I don't think it's.
Nah.
I don't think people would be saying that. Having fun there, Wolf.
Well, he said something stupid. Like I said.
Because if people are saying to die because you like something, it's like, yeah, they're probably not people you should give much time. Personally speaking, it would be go both ways. Yeah. If people are saying you should die because you didn't like it, you know, same thing. This is gonna be long.
really care that much about Star Wars?
Yeah, Mom, they really do. But everyone should just remember.
Oh my god.
This is a film about space wizards intended for children.
So, why have you created 3
Intended
videos?
for children.
Why is he?
Intended for children.
Is it? Yeah, that's the other thing. Intended, I would say, for everyone, not children. Isn't the whole point that Star Wars appeals to a mass audience, not just children?
Well, here's the thing. He's ripping that line from George Lucas and just being like, "You see, even George Lucas says it's for kids." It's like, well, first off, this is an idiotic argument because just because a film is for kids doesn't mean it has the right to suck. Because Lion King, Treasure Planet, Atlantis, How to Train Your Dragon, all incredible films that are all directed towards younger audiences. Yeah. Pixar, older Disney, not new Disney. New Disney sucks, but you know.
And then
just because it's a kids movie doesn't mean it's like, oh yeah, it gets to suck.
This right here is why it takes so long to debunk bullshit compared to how long it takes to generate it, right? So he puts that sign up and then he moves on. But we've got so many counter arguments. First being that just because it's a kids thing doesn't mean that you don't care about the writing. That's even insulting to kids. Like, and by kids, I'm assuming. Yes. We're talking about people as old as, let's say, 14. You'd still be a kid at that point, right?
You just devalued your own movie in there.
Yeah.
Like if you can't, you can't just say that your film is just this film is actually just for kids, guys. You guys need to relax like that. It's like
wouldn't the MCU be the same audience intention as Star Wars as a saga as well? Or that you say that they're a bit more adult? I'm not sure.
Well, I would say they were a bit more adult in Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Then they like kind of lost their balls right immediately after that. And...
Well, look at when Luke sees his aunt and uncle's bones.
Yeah.
When Anakin's implied to have slit down freaking a bunch of kids. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is just the exact same thing as the Lego movie. You know, it's just like that.
Oh yeah, 5-year-olds watching Anakin slaughter a bunch of 5-year-olds. That's totally kid-oriented.
And once you move from that argument, you move on to, but hang on, you're telling people to stop getting so angry, and like you're gushing about it. So one side of the emotions is okay, but the other side isn't. It's like that doesn't seem very consistent. It looks like you're just policing people about how they should feel.
He is.
He
absolutely is.
And like really telling humans how much they should care about something, it's historically doesn't work very well. Like humans don't like it.
Yeah, let's go on.
Of course.
I'm not saying you shouldn't take it seriously, just maybe...
You kind of do.
What is he?
You kind of do.
It's a kid movie. Calm down. Also, take it seriously. You're like, what?
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 Well, my brother didn't take it seriously, and he got pissed off.
I'm confused. What does he try to say? Let's just back it up, because he's not saying to not take it seriously. He's saying
intended for children. I'm not saying you shouldn't take it seriously, just maybe don't get too angry about it. We're not
don't get too angry about it.
Don't get too angry. What?
Are we allowed to get too happy? Is there such a thing as too happy? Because I'm assuming that's what this comes down to. It's a matter of you can feel positively, but you cannot feel negatively.
But I don't see like that 5-hour video. I don't see her being angry at all. I mean, you're just explaining
well, I made
why the film is
it's 5
bad.
hours, so I must have been angry to make something like that. It couldn't be that
you
I had
were definitely angry when you were like, that Dishonored Wolf guy. His Thor Ragnarok video was honestly terrible. Had no cogent arguments at all.
You know, I was very angry. And I shouldn't get that angry about a movie that's meant for children, like Thor Ragnarok.
Exactly.
Thank you, Patrick.
Honestly, Thor Ragnarok was more child-oriented than The Last Jedi.
Look, I think what we can take from this is that, you know, when you sign up or you book to go see a movie, as you walk in, Patrick will be standing there and you go, can you just, how invested am I allowed to be? And then he's like, it's a 7 on this one. 7 out of 10. You're like, thank you, man. Just to clarify.
Now, I wonder what objective lens he gets that one from.
Because you know why he feels like he's on the upper end of this one. He's like, calm down, don't get so angry. And everyone's like, haha, true. So I don't get it on the emotional scale for the people who are going nuts, like Patrick, talking about how it's incredible, it's great. The visual language, the subtext, the lessons it teaches of humanity. And you have like a 5-year-old like, huh? He's like, oh, right, it's not meant for you, I guess, sorry.
It's very interesting that he said that you shouldn't be angry about this. Like I'm not even a Star Wars fan. Like I'm not a Star Wars fan. Like I could see like that film. It's Last Jedi is terrible. Like I'm not even a Star Wars fan. Like I am the sorts of demographics. Like you know when people bring up Star Wars, back the new episodes came in. Like episode 7 came in. It's like it was intended for like to bring people go back to Star Wars. Like hey, Star Wars exists. Like hey. Come here, Star Wars is back again. It's like I'm one of the newcomers, like their target audience. Like, but even 9 was like, okay, 7 was, and then you have Rogue One, which I gotta say, Rogue One is the best out of all of them. But it was still, and then you have Last Jedi, which was just even, and then you have Solo.
And the S starts get really lazy. You're like,
then it's like, oh, you don't even care anymore.
All right, yeah. Patrick. Now that you've dashed all of the evil haters, let's hear some of these arguments, shall we?
Thor was child-oriented. Oh my God, your hammer pulled you. Oh, okay, you got a point there now. I forgot about that.
Well, this is the thing though. I was clarifying if Star Wars is oriented to children, surely the MCU is as well, because they have...
I think what Wolf is trying to say is that Thor Ragnarok is a lot more childish.
Oh, I agree.
In terms of the humor.
They even, like, they make light of all the dramatic things that happen. They're like, la la la, you know.
That's more what I was going for, like the kind of tone throughout the movie, whereas Last Jedi was more serious. Even
you can have adult jokes hidden in kids stuff, though. Like, this is the thing.
True.
But it's a pointless thing to even talk about, because we enjoy children's stuff that was clearly meant for children, because you can make it good. You can tell a good story. You don't. It's implied with what he said that you need sex, violence, drugs, and whatever else to tell a story that's interesting for adults. It's like, no, you don't. You really don't. You can literally be a story about friendship, and that's it.
Shrek. A lot of people are referencing Shrek now.
Yeah, I think Shrek is good. I know there's memes, but
yeah, it has tons of adult jokes in it.
Shrek 2 is good shit too.
Shrek 2 is the best. Shrek 3 is the worst.
And oh god, yeah. And this is the thing, like, what does it mean to... What if I took Shrek seriously and talked about how good I thought that was, writing-wise? Adventure Time, you know? I don't really... I wish he was here so I could be like, Patrick, what does that mean, though? What are you saying? When people celebrate how well-written something like WALL-E or Incredibles or Monsters, Inc. is, are you like, oh god, calm down? It's a kid's thing. Because you do it to the negative side, but do you do it to the positive side? Do you keep that consistent? Probably not.
Please do a 5-hour analysis on Shrek.
About a movie about space wizards intended for children.
Oh god, he does it again? What, didn't he just do that, or did we rewind? Hang on.
You did rewind. Or maybe...
This is a film about space wizards intended for children. I'm not saying you shouldn't take it seriously, just maybe don't get too angry about it. We're not talking about gun control here. We're talking about a movie about space wizards.
Ah.
He does do it twice.
Oh, he did do it twice.
And he said that he's basically saying you can care about politics, but you can't care about media. Come on. Politics is one thing, but media, this is a kid's movie for space wizards.
But remember, Patrick's politics include hating white people, so...
I don't understand this at all. Like, it's so confusing to keep track of. I think it comes down to he's going to use this argument against the people who are making counter-arguments to the film to try and bat them off, but he won't allow it to be applied to himself. Simple as that.
People in the chat are rightfully pointing out, what is gun control? How is that even a good analogy in this sense?
Like I said, I'm assuming he's talking about politics. He's got to be... That's his point, that you should be serious about politics, you shouldn't be serious about media. I guess that's what he means. Even though he's very serious about media. He has a whole career based on it, so I don't understand.
You should be less angry about it. That's what he said.
Birth control is on the same level of criticism for Shrek.
Yeah, I just saw that. That was great. Oh, Patrick.
Wizards intended for children. Anyway, it sucks that I feel like I have to say that, and it's probably not even worth wading into this shitstorm anyway, but honestly...
Oh, what? So now he's like, I probably shouldn't have said that because there'll be counter-arguments.
Yeah, just go on. Just go on. Why do you like this film?
This like fucking 5-minute disclaimer. Please leave me alone.
Love this movie.
Oh, there you go. That's all this is. That's all it ever comes down to.
I just love this movie.
That's it.
And I want to talk about it.
Okay, but if you talk about it on a public space, expect people to talk back. That is how this works. So, the disclaimer, you may as well just start the video here, to be perfectly honest with you, but hey.
Before I start talking about The Last Jedi,
oh God.
I need to quickly run through...
Wait a second. He was talking to his parents this whole time, right?
I don't know if that's what's actually happening or if he filmed those bits like separately. Because
so like his parents was just like standing there, like sitting there.
he was just like, "Mom, Dad, shut up and watch me make this video."
Yeah, I guess I don't know if they're gonna be replying or if they're just for jokes. So I guess we'll find out.
Jokes.
For my history with Star Wars, because context matters. I mostly love the original trilogy. I think the prequels are generally not good, even if they contain some cool ideas. I think The Force Awakens is pretty good. Yeah, it plays things super safe and basically just hits all the beats from A New Hope, but the movie had to do 3 things. It had to feel like Star Wars again, it had to introduce new characters that we wanted to follow into future movies, and it had to bridge the 30-year gap in...
It had to bridge the 30-year gap. Well, I guess it failed in that regard, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, in the sense that, like, we skipped the bridge part and went to the other side.
I'm sorry, but if I was to compliment The Force Awakens, I would never cite that it bridged the gap. It didn't bridge any gap. It practically skipped the gap.
Yeah, wouldn't, like, The Force Unleashed, which is intentionally supposed to be, okay, this is what happened between 3 and 4, work more as a bridging the gap part? This is skipping the gap. This is on the other side of the gap.
Yeah, I don't understand how you could possibly assume bridging the gap between what? Like the OT and itself? Because what else would it connect to? I don't even know what he's trying to say with that anyway.
I don't think he understands what bridging the gap means as a phrase.
Had to bridge the 30-year gap in the story. It did ridiculously well at the first 2, and with the third...
Oh, okay.
It did okay. It's a...
No, it didn't do anything.
No!
Hey, at least he said that it wasn't great in that regard. At least. At least he said that it wasn't great. Obviously, we would consider it to be a complete and utter sham, but he's saying it wasn't great.
A little frustrating that we don't really know what the political landscape of the galaxy is, and how the Republic works, and what the significance of the Hosnian system being destroyed actually is.
Yeah.
But I also get that they wanted to return to a familiar dynamic, I don't need to see Snoke, a Star Wars story, to understand who that guy is and what his deal is.
As if you need a whole movie to be able to explain a character.
We still don't know who he is, even after the second film.
Well, I guess he's saying that we don't need to know at all.
Like, it's really sad because he's one of the few villains that actually have potential to actually be, you know, like the overarching villain for the entire thing. But now we have only Kylo again.
The interesting thing is that a handful of people will say that Palpatine was, you know, very underdeveloped in the OT, that we don't get quite a lot for him, and yet he's got way more of a character than Snoke did. So it's like, talk about super underdeveloped, and I don't get people who are like, we didn't need a huge backstory for this villain. And it's like, we never get huge backstory. Like, what was the backstory for Count Dooku? What was the backstory for Darth Maul? You know, and only including the films, because I guess Mace Windu.
We don't need a backstory. We need a story.
That's true. Yeah, just give us any reason to understand why they're here and they have what goal. Like that.
Like, all we needed to know about Darth Maul was that he was
evil.
Well, yeah, that
he was Darth Evil.
Apprentice. Darth Evil. All we needed to know about Dooku is that he was a former Jedi.
Yeah.
And that he got seduced by Sidious. All we needed to know about Sidious was that he was a Sith and he's evil, and that's really all there needs to be. The problem with Snoke, the difference here is that Snoke just comes out of nowhere when the last time we saw any of these characters, the galaxy was at peace. So where he came from makes no sense, because the last time we saw any of these characters, it was the Sith were defeated completely. So where did this guy come from? Is he a Sith?
I mean, he brought it up, the bridging the gap thing, and it's like, Snoke is absolutely probably the most important component for bridging the gap, because he's the guy who changed everything. He reignited the Empire, and he turned Kylo and ended up getting the Jedi destroyed. So that's the entire positive faction have been destroyed by Snoke.
So wait a second. He showed Snoke on the video. Maybe he'll explain it.
Maybe
someone said Darth Evil, a Star Wars story.
I would watch it.
And what the significance of the Hosnian system being destroyed actually is. But I also get that they wanted to return to a familiar dynamic. I don't need to see Snoke.
You know what was a familiar dynamic? A good film.
What? So you're doing it for the sake of making it familiar? Like, what? They're doing it for the sake of making it same like the original trilogy. Wait, what?
I mean, they got to get the old fans back. That's the point.
Dark Helmet Strikes Back. I'd watch that.
Star Wars story to understand who that guy is and what his deal is. So now that The Force Awakens had brought Star Wars back to the thing that we loved and was no longer 2 hours of Hayden Christensen green screened into ugly CGI, where did we go?
Gotta get those prequel jabs in there. It's almost like see guys, The Last Jedi's still better than them though.
Patrick, just because the prequels suck doesn't mean that The Last Jedi doesn't. Stop using that as an argument. No. Okay, look. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are saying now that that the prequels are good, and they aren't, and they're wrong when they say that they aren't. However, just because people are saying that doesn't mean The Last Jedi is excused from criticism because the prequels exist. Like,
I do want to watch the prequel.
By that logic, then we should excuse the fact that the Hobbit movies are terrible because The Lord of the Rings is great.
True.
What?
Sort of. I mean, it's just backward logic anyway. But this is the thing. We still haven't actually, like, started the video yet, really. This is all still... But, you know, we're nearly there, hopefully. I'm wondering if he's going to pull out a fucking piece of card again, too.
Here. We've got all this set up. We've got a hell of a cliffhanger ending. So what comes next? A lot of people had a lot of demands for this movie. Explanations and answers and confirmations of fan theories, and look.
I like how that gets waved off.
We expected to get answers?
It's just like, the answers create stakes. Yes. The answers create the world. Like, why is this such a, like, crazy demand from the fans now? Why is that looked at as crazy when JJ was the one who made us ask the questions in the first place?
I mean, really, the only thing that I hate this argument that people keep bringing up where it's like, fans are just angry because they didn't get their fan theories. Like, anyone that knows anything about fan theories knows that fan theories in every situation are 99% inaccurate.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So it's
you
like-
know, there's a shit ton of fan theories everywhere, all
if
over the
we-
place. Jar Jar Binks is
if-
Snoke, you know, like that. They're all over the place.
If people were that attached to fan theories, then every single movie everywhere would get hated on just because of that. But that's the thing. No one cares that much. You're applying too much credit to something that no one really cares about.
You know what I look at it as is you have a birthday coming up, and then your parents are like, "What do you want?" And you go, "Surprise me." And then instead of picking you up that video game you wanted, or maybe some shoes you were after, or a ticket to go to a place that you really want, it's just an empty box, and they're like, "Aha!" And you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's a surprise."
It subverts expectations, guys.
But like you're just sitting there like, I mean, I guess I asked for a surprise, so wow. And you get this immediate sense of, do you hate me? Like, why would you do this? And then Ryan Johnson's like, no, I just hate Star Wars. And you're like, oh, okay, I understand. Yes, being hyperbolic, but it's just I would like to hear a better argument for how this is all caused by false expectation, because it almost seemed like a cop out that they didn't have to do more work, you know, balance more of the like make everything fit more. Because if you just say that there is no answer to Snoke's origin, Rey's origin, whatever else, then you don't actually need to do anything other than just tell whatever story you wanted to do in The Last Jedi, which, as we found out that he got rid of the notes from J.J. Abrams, that Ryan Johnson clearly did come in wanting to tell his own story, which, there you go. Like, he doesn't care what the first and third movie was in the trilogy, and he certainly doesn't care about the older ones. He just wanted to make his art. And that pissed people off.
I made a whole video about that. But personally, those weren't really my top priorities. I just wanted something new. I didn't want another beat-for-beat repeat of the original trilogy. I wanted Star Wars to surprise me.
They kind of did do some of that, though.
They kind of did.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff they redid. So, not sure where he's getting that from.
Yeah.
Like, I guess he's gonna argue that they may have copied a few things, but they had it end differently, so... That's
I mean, a
the
bank
justification.
robbery is surprising, doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, I don't think they appreciate that concept, because it's rare that we get told why it's good. It's just, but it's different.
To expand the scope of what a Star Wars movie could be. And also, of course, I wanted a rip-roaring good time. And that is exactly what I got. Right from the...
Hey, so it looks like we're going to begin the actual arguments now. You guys ready? This is going to actually involve references to the film. This is where it's going to get interesting.
And get the Mario soundtrack ready.
You're gonna piss everyone off if you keep using that.
Yes.
And that is exactly what I got. Right from the opening scene, I could tell something was unique about this movie. The movie begins with a space battle that is seriously one of the best space battles in the...
Oh, okay. Please give me a reason.
Go on.
entire series, but near the end, it does something amazing.
Okay.
In Star Wars, we've seen a lot of battles, and in those battles, we've seen a lot of random rebel pilots die. But I've never really cared about them. No disrespect.
You didn't care about Porkins? I guess. I guess you didn't care about Biggs.
Wait, why would you care about the rebels that died in the Last Jedi? Like, they're about as equally not as developed. Like,
Just because
what?
you don't know their names, their history, or how they even came to be in the positions they are, doesn't mean you shouldn't care about them, sir. What is wrong with you? Is it because they're women that you don't care about them?
Jesus.
Really cared about them. No disrespect to Biggs and Porkins, but they were never really characters.
How dare you?
But The
Porkins
Last
is the
Jedi
best.
shines a spot.
Hang on, he said they were never really characters. How are these guys characters exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
What's her name exactly? Asian
It's
number
It's
two?
Paige Tico, and I know that because everybody wanted her to be in Rose's place.
Because she's more attractive.
Oh, that is
because
that is
because she's Rose's sister.
obsolescemist. That is, it's a weird.
I'm just saying, it's the reason.
Because it's Rose's sister.
Mhm.
Because
That's
Rose's
why.
sister's more
Oh,
attractive than Rose.
is that going to be her character
Oh.
that she was Rose's sister? I wonder.
Rose's hotter sister.
Light on Paige Tico, and for 2 minutes, she becomes the star of the movie. Paige's desperate attempt to...
That's
What?
not.
No,
I'm
she
sorry.
didn't.
Okay. How exactly do you learn about her character from this selection of? She's just trying to activate a remote.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, give me something here. Come on.
To drop the bombs is more suspenseful and more emotional than anything in a
Yeah, you keep saying that that's what it is. No references.
battle scene since Luke's trench run. And as the
How
movie
is
reached
that
this
as epic as Luke's trench run?
Just saying it. Look, it's all opinion. We're not gonna get anything about the looks of things, but yeah, I'm surprised because I was just confused from the get-go watching this scene. I remember being so thrown out by the bombers in general. I was just like, what in the hell are these things? And then like how they drop and how the TIE fighters just allow the last bomber to destroy the dreadnought instead of destroying it. I was so confused because, you know, you could get a triple kill on bombers with half a TIE fighter. So
There's a significant design flaw in the bombers. Very significant.
There's several significant design flaws, but sure, which one are you thinking about?
Man, I don't know. Like the fact that it's very easy to destroy.
Yeah, that would be one. I like the flaw where pretty much any bomber that loses its payload is pretty much going to kill itself, because by the time the first bomb hits, the last bomb is still in the fucking chamber, so they just chain up and destroy it anyway.
Yeah.
How slow they are is hilarious. The size and like lack of shielding or armor, it's just a bizarre design. And from what we see in the actual film, it's just like, why would anyone pay to make these things?
The fact that it takes like 100 bombs to do what 2 Y-wing bombs could do just as easily in the OT.
And we saw in Rogue One, the Y-wings could disable temporarily the Star Destroyers, and then we see it from the ion cannon in Episode 5. And it's like, wouldn't that have just been just as good? You just disable the dreadnought and get out if that was your only goal, was to get out. Instead, you sacrifice like half your team. In Finis, they destroy it. It's just so many conflicts in your head, just thinking about why the hell was this the story. And it's like, oh, just ignore it. Enjoy the emotional
the bombers are so useless, they could have just had one of them jump into light speed right through the dreadnought.
Oh, and those bombs as well, a lot of people, as Red Letter Media highlighted, it's like, why wouldn't you just fire them like missiles? If they're that good that they just damage on impact. It's like, I mean, the TIE fighters had trouble shooting the incredibly slow moving deployment of them, so you could probably get away with just shooting them, I think, but
this shot, I thought, holy shit, I've never seen this in a Star Wars movie before.
I thought he bleeped his swear words. Maybe he missed that one, or I guess I don't know.
And I've noticed a lot of people don't.
Wow, I've never seen a bad Star Wars movie before. Yeah, none of us did.
But he clearly referenced the prequels. I'm confused.
Things in their Star Wars, and I think that's kind of a bummer. One of the reasons I love The Empire Strikes Back is that it's constantly surprising. The characters grow and change, it shows us amazing new planets and creatures, it changes our conception of Star Wars. And the most disappointing...
I'm just waiting for... Okay, just a movie where it opens up, it's Star Wars Episode 9, and it's just a guy getting some coffee in, like, just a normal ass place in real life, and then he does his taxes, and then it ends. It's like, that opened up what we consider to be a Star Wars movie.
Someone in the chat said, did he just swear at his parents? Because, remember, they're sitting right across from him still.
But yeah, fair enough.
The thing about Return of the Jedi is how it doesn't really do that. It mostly gives us a lot of things we've seen before, like a Death Star or Tatooine. Its big new additions to the mythos are a forest, and the revelation that Stormtrooper helmets can be played as drums.
Okay, are we doing the whole... See, Revenge of the... Everything sucks compared to The Last Jedi, and that's why it's good. I'm just like, you know, I would never concede that Return of the Jedi is worse than The Last Jedi, nor the prequels, so but apparently it added nothing new. His like requirements here are whether or not it added something new. It's just like, is there anything more than that? Like, is it more complicated than that, or is it just that?
Return of the Jedi is significantly better than any of the films, any of the newer films.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, but apparently he doesn't like it because all it added was that you can drum Stormtrooper helmets.
I mean, how much new shit did Return of the King add to anything from the first two Lord of the Rings movies?
I don't get
not
his
really
point.
much.
I don't get how it works. Why does it have to add something to be good, and why is that the determiner of whether it's good?
Cool. But The Last Jedi isn't content to recycle Star Wars greatest hits and just revisit old planets and reveal that everyone is related to someone that we've met before.
It didn't have to be that she was related to somebody we know. It just needed to be something that makes sense. I mean, they can answer a question instead of just nobody. And she's just super powerful because we've reestablished how the Force works now, and that is, if you're a broom boy in some area, you'll also be as powerful as Rey, as long as you've... Why do you have to make it about this instead of talking about what actually happens? You know, like, explaining where Snoke came from? It wouldn't matter if Snoke was just some janitor on a spaceship. We would be like, yeah, I don't care where he came from. But his history literally makes the story or breaks it. It's like if you just told us he was...
Don't kill him early on.
If he was Palpatine's apprentice this whole time, we'd be like, well, where the hell was he? And it's like, okay, no, he's not that. He's Palpatine's boss. And you're like, well, where the hell was he? And you go, okay, he was a competitor to Palpatine that Palpatine nearly killed, and he went into the shadows. He's not Darth Plagueis, though. We'd be like, okay, so he came back once Palpatine was dead, and it's like these things just they connect the stories. They actually bridge the gap. And why do we need to know? It's because Snoke did everything, and it's like, why do we need to know about Rey? It's like, well, if we don't find out why she has so much power, it kind of makes it really hard to be invested in it with the whole kills everything first try sort of bullshit.
Yeah, if we don't know the history between the characters, like, we just don't really care about them. Like, the way Snoke, like, the reason why Snoke is becoming, like, the biggest powerful entity in the galaxy, we don't really know why or how. It's like, he said, bridging the gap, kind of okay explained.
It is interesting to me that he has, like, this idea of bridging the gap. He actually criticized TFA for it, but then simultaneously doesn't give a shit about who or what Snoke is. Like, that seems to be a conflict to me, but there we are.
It has a story to tell and a mythology to expand. I love that this movie finally shows us how the 1% live in this galaxy. It finally has someone use the Force to switch on a lightsaber. It finally gives us an idea of what Obi-Wan meant when he said,
"Strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine."
Oh, no.
Wait.
Oh,
What?
no. He's arguing
What?
that the lightning from Yoda explains what Obi-Wan was talking about when he said, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Even though that's what the Force ghosts were. That was him becoming more than just human. That was the point. I'll just replay it for you guys if you didn't quite get it.
lightsaber. It finally gives us an idea of what Obi-Wan meant when he said,
"Strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine."
You guys get that? You follow it along?
I still don't get it.
So, just to clarify, by the way, the 1%, the upper echelon of class in Star Wars, wouldn't that just be, like, the people in Naboo who were, like, royalty, or the people... Like, Palpatine was the 1%, surely. The Jedi are kind of up there. There was a class system going on. We saw the slaves. We know classes already existed.
Wouldn't Lando technically count as one of the 1%?
I suppose. I guess it's different for every planet because they all have different ecosystems or whatever. But it is interesting, by the way, because I think some people in chat are picking up on it. The fact that you referred to them as the 1%, it's almost like, seeing a bit of a drip feed of politics there. We'll see if he mentions that again. But yeah, I like the way he slips that in, though. Like, by the way, you know this thing that people have a huge problem with, Yoda fucking firing lightning? It actually makes complete sense, because it's what Obi-Wan was referring to. It's like, no! No, stop. If Obi-Wan was referring to that, why wouldn't he have used it? Just stop it. Stop it.
it gives us great new Force
Also, the thing
abilities
that
that
he
feel like
liked,
natural extension.
all of the things that he liked are very, like, irrelevant things. I don't really care if Star Wars, like, show the 1% side. Like, just
yeah,
give
like
me a good film.
We want to see character-related arguments, not fucking. They showed how the 1% lives. Like,
It's very small. It's a very small, good thing. I guess if the film is so bad, you have to, like, grasp so hard to the smallest things that are you can interpret as good.
Like, why wouldn't he want to talk? Well, he's going to talk about the characters, I assume. He's just getting out the small things. Maybe that's what we're doing right now. As for Force Skype chat, I don't necessarily have a huge issue with it. But like, you know, like it's mostly fine. It's just like it's obviously an excuse to get them to speak to each other, the protagonist and antagonist. It's just that obviously apparently it takes an incredibly powerful force to be able to do it, and Snoke was obviously given that intro, which is why we kind of again wanted his history, so that slots in nice and easy instead of just being like, oh, he was super powerful, more powerful than Palpatine, also he's dead by, and it's like, oh, okay, that was interesting.
Extensions of what we've seen before, and speaking of the Force, no other movie explains it as well as Luke does here.
I was just Yoda at Empire has the definitive explanation of the Force.
I've been silent because it's like my brain. It's like I don't know how anyone on Earth can be as dumb as Patrick Willems. I don't think there's. I mean.
Well,
this is Patrick.
I can't even.
To quote an email Jonah Hill once wrote describing a Jump Street Men in Black crossover.
To quote the intellectual maestro Jonah Hill.
To quote Jonah Hill, yeah, this took a turn. Like, all right.
Rad and powerful. I want to bring up something that doesn't get
I missed that.
Yeah.
Roll that back. I missed that.
Clean and rad.
Oh, wait.
Quote an email Jonah Hill once wrote describing a Jump Street Men in Black crossover. It's clean and rad and powerful. I want to bring up something.
Clean, rad, and powerful.
Like my persona.
Gonna require some qualification there, Mr. Patrice, because I don't really follow.
Something that doesn't get talked about enough. Star Wars has always been weird. Remember the cantina scene?
Who the hell said Star Wars wasn't weird?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is that like The Last Jedi doesn't make any sense, and then he responds, Star Wars has always been weird. It's like, that's not that's not what
It's not an
That's
argument.
not the argument. Not an argument. Not the argument.
Remember Figrin Dan and the modal nodes? Remember how there's a fucking devil in there just chilling at the bar? And
don't swear to your parents.
Yeah. That's not our argument.
Also, dude, I just realized, like, Yoda shouldn't be casting lightning. That's ridiculous. Then he goes, there was a fucking devil in the cantina. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, I mean, like...
Yeah.
That's not our argument, though. Just...
a one-eyed tentacle creature in the trash compactor.
What does that have to do with anything?
Okay. Okay, and...
Since the very beginning, Star Wars has been full of weird...
Do you think he said that as if people have forgotten? He's like, do you guys remember the episode 4 one? You know, the old one? Not many people have seen it. It's the one with the tentacle one.
It's like he expects us to either be like, oh yeah, The Last Jedi doesn't suck because of that, or he expects us to say, oh yeah, Star Wars sucks because there was a devil for a second and a half.
It's like you're furious at the film, and then he takes you to watch episode 4, you see the scene with the tentacle, and then you go, oh, The Last Jedi was actually very good. Right. Like, I completely forgot about the tentacle.
Has anyone ever made the argument that The Last Jedi is bad because it's got weird shit in it?
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't understand where he's coming from with this one.
Weird shit, and The Last Jedi lives up to that legacy.
Okay.
The giant alien cow thing that Luke...
Oh, God.
Okay, to be fair, there was one person who did say that The Last Jedi was bad because there's some weird shit.
Oh,
It was
well...
Jared.
Jared.
Okay, well,
you don't want to be...
bit of an exception.
You do not want to be caught arguing for the milk monster. That's not a great position to have, but go for it, Patrick.
This is just
go
the
for
absolute worst screen to pause on.
Go for it.
And The Last Jedi lives up to that legacy. The giant alien cow thing that Luke milks is one of my favorite additions to this...
Of course it is. Why am I even? I'm not even surprised by that.
It's one of his favorite.
Stop! Time out.
It's one of his favorite additions.
I really want to hear him quantify.
Oh my God!
Why this is his favorite addition? Why is that?
This is real.
Patrick, explain.
I mean, come on, you got the Porgs, you got the precious Crystal Fox boys, you got You got those little horse llama things. I mean, you got so much to pick from, and it's the titty elephant thing.
Titty
He's Jesus. He's got to be trolling.
No, wait a minute, Patrick. No.
This is Patrick.
All right, Patrick. We'll take you seriously.
Weird shit. And Last Jedi lives up to that legacy. The giant alien cow thing that Luke milks is one of my favorite additions to this whole series. And if you don't like
the whole series, oh my god!
Man, I was gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, at least it's just this movie.
At least it's just the Last Jedi.
I mean,
Jesus Christ!
How did you get this one to be your favorite?
In all of Star Wars as a saga, the alien elephant titties are the favorite. Wow, that's just
you can't. Okay, go on. It has to be a punchline of a joke. Like, he can't seriously freaking say this.
Milks is one of my favorite additions to this whole series. And if you don't like it, no offense, but you have boring taste, and I don't want to be friends with you.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What do you mean, poor taste?
You're absolutely insane.
You can't be serious, Patrick. You can't. This is insane. Look, you know, it's one thing to say, like, oh, anyone who likes The Last Jedi needs to be, like, killed or is stupid. It's like, obviously that's hyperbolic. He's actually arguing that if you don't like the alien elephant boobs, then you have bad taste. Or boring taste, sorry. Like, oh.
I don't know, man. I think I'd rather be boring than, like, whatever that thing is.
Jesus. He didn't even try. He was just like, nah, you suck.
Did your parents block your access of Pornhub so you have only this movie to vent? Like, fuck.
Oh, God.
Amazing. He's just gonna skip the argument and just go straight to, look, if you don't get it, you're boring. It's like, okay.
Boring taste, and I don't want to be friends with you.
I don't want to be friends with you. Okay, he's getting super.
Let's let it go on. Let it go on.
But also, we've got the fish nuns and a hellmouth.
The fish nuns and the hellmouth.
What? I missed that. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Okay, you know, I genuinely thought, like, okay, maybe we're laughing too early. Maybe he's gonna be like, you see, this is what these haters would say. But no, he's just going with it. He's serious.
Dude, he just said the fish nuns and the hellmouth as, like, defenses for the Last Jedi.
Like it, no offense, but you have boring taste, and I don't want to be friends with you.
You don't
Also,
want to be
we've got the
friends with
fish nuns and a hellmouth where the movie goes all David Lynch, and those crazy things hanging out on Canto Bight.
Nobody's fucking complimenting that in Canto Bight. It was bizarre. It was like, why is there an opera singing chunky alien thing? Do you remember the one that was putting coins in BB-8? It was like super CGI'd. Everyone just watching the film was just like, ooh, this is.
Oh, you mean like the little gremlin-looking thing?
Which was actually voiced by Mark Hamill, as far as I know, which is the nice fact about it. But yeah, and I'm saying this, obviously not everyone, but most people were citing the prequels when they came to this scene. They were like, this is very prequel-ish, and it was probably because of how much CGI was in it. Even though the prequels aren't all CGI, I'm just saying.
Maybe you need to lay off that soy tea, buddy.
Hey man, it's giving him great taste that I am jealous of. Don't you want to live in a world where you could enjoy all of these horrible things?
But we got the fish nuns and a hellmouth where the movie goes all David Lynch, and those crazy things hanging out on Canto Bight. Oh yeah, Canto Bight. You know, that section of the movie that people hate, where they say nothing happens, it should just be entirely cut out of the movie.
No.
You defend Canto Bight.
So
I swear, I might actually lose my mind.
This is interesting, right? So when H-Bomber Guy defended Dark Souls 2, a lot of people noted that he chose some really bad arguments instead of the actual strengths of the film. It would be like saying, game, sorry, yeah. So cereal is great because it can power your car. It can act as a shield from the sun if you pour it on yourself. You're like, no, that's not why cereal's good. It's like, why are you making these arguments? So if you're gonna defend The Last Jedi, there are several things that I personally would pick strategically. Canto Bight and Alien Booby Monster, not high on the list. In fact, I would argue they're pretty much on the bottom. So what are you doing, Patrick? What are you doing? Like,
Man, people called me the contrarian, but Jesus.
At least he's. I think he's arguing for this one at least.
Not even
go
the
on,
Defenders of the
Patrick.
Last Jedi, like Canabite. Like even that guy who was like shit talking Rags, and he was like, "My uncles told me." Like, no one cares what your uncle said. But like even that guy was like, "Yeah, Canabite sucks." It's like, oh, even that idiot. Come on.
Well, this is the thing. Loads of people concede. It's like, yeah, Canterbury was shit. Okay, fine. We're moving on. We're going to talk about the better stuff. It's like,
shit.
okay.
I cannot. If I just hope he does. I mean,
we're about to find out, Wolf. Are you excited?
Just let him go on. Let him go on. Let
Say
him go
nothing
on.
happens and it should just be entirely cut out of the movie. I could spend several minutes here talking about how it's important that we see the oppressed people in the galaxy and the hope that the resistance symbol inspires.
Yeah. The hope that they inspire when they've been in power for the past 30 years. If you pay attention to the actual film, as if the institution of the Republic did anything for these people except actually encourage the activity. The idea that the Resistance were the ones that were going to save them when they didn't do shit for the past 3 decades. Watch the film and you'll actually understand why it doesn't matter. We could believe that the First Order might be the ones that save these people. We don't actually know if Canto Bight are subservient to the First Order. We actually get told they sell to both the bad guys and the good guys. Did anyone watch this film when they decided to defend it? Like, this is what I get about the references. I'm like, you're inventing the film. This is not what happened. You're insane. Rant over. It just annoys me.
Oh, somebody sent a fan art of Terry Crews's series.
Of course. Is that on Twitter, I'm guessing? Yeah.
Where'd they do it?
Yes. Check our Twitter.
See it.
I could spend several reasons saying why it's, a thing, but then, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about other things.
Every single time he says something stupid, just show Terry Crews's series.
That's our counter argument, yeah.
Appa, you gotta. Oh wait, no wait, that's not it. Could you retweet it? I really want to see it, but it's not showing up in my.
All
mentions.
right, I'll retweet it.
Someone sent me a picture of South Park when you watch the milking scene in Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and they just photoshopped Patrick Willem's face onto
Luke, is it? Or
I haven't watched South Park in years. The guy with the mustache, where he was jacking off near his computer and it's just everywhere.
Oh, Randy.
Yeah.
I already retweeted it if you want to see it.
Oh, well, I usually don't go on Twitter until the end of the streams because I try to take all the notifications at once then.
Yeah, I would retweet it, but I'm banned from Twitter for the week, so.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you want to mention that to the people in the stream while you can.
Oh yeah, so basically, I said some jokes on Twitter that were very obviously jokes, and I said a word that people didn't like, which wasn't even bad. It was retard, and
it's bad to them, dude.
Well,
people wanted to see the series. Okay.
Well, anyway, it's just because of that. I can no longer use Twitter for a week because Twitter banned me.
Yeah, Wolf is
So
off
you're
Twitter
gonna
for
have
the
to
week.
do without a week without memes. Sorry.
He's not ignoring you guys. He's been banned. Actually, you still get PMs, don't you?
Yeah, I can still DM people, but it's like, well, who am I gonna do? Who am I gonna DM? Everyone I talk to on Discord.
All right then, let's continue.
The galaxy and the hope that the resistance symbol inspires. I could talk about how the failures.
Can you imagine how much you would hate the resistance? You'd be like, you guys have let us suffer for decades under your rule. We thought things would change when you took down the Empire, but you did nothing. I want to see that movie. Let's see that movie.
By the way, 7 minutes in, and I cannot believe I say this, but Jared's review of The Last Jedi makes more sense.
Including the detail that Rey killed Han, Put that in there, it still makes more sense.
Symbol inspires. I could talk about how the failures here caused by Poe and Finn are essential teaching moments in both.
It didn't know. It was the robot. The robot caught BB-8 in the box. It wasn't their fault.
Go on.
This is what I mean, though. He revises the scenes to match a narrative, and it's really annoying.
symbol inspires. I could talk about how the failures here caused by Poe and Finn are essential teaching moments in both of their arcs, but what I really want to mention are 3 very important things.
Okay.
Number 1, a drunk goblin puts coins in BB-8, and that rules.
Should we comment on that?
I'm done.
Should we even comment on that? Like, it's almost as strong as his elephant booby argument, I'd say. But sure, let's see the next one. I'm starting to think this might actually be a troll video. Like, there is a good chance.
Yes, it is a troll video. It is a troll video.
Because he's not...
I mean, I just... If this is not a troll video, this is insane. I can't believe he would make these arguments. Like, even the worst Last Jedi defenders have made better arguments. Even the guy that we debated the first guy we ever debated Mueller.
Maybe.
He had better arguments.
He did, yeah. Maybe, and again, maybe, only suggesting, maybe Patrick realized that there was quite a bit of, let's say, controversy in covering Star Wars. And so he was like, I'll make this video. And, you know, it'll be the end of... Like, he's already made 2, so he's like, let's just throw a 3rd one on, and I'll actually deliberately give it, you know, weak arguments so it'll get covered more. And generate, you know, like, that could be a motivation for it. Because if we go further and we still... Like, the arguments get even worse, like, I'm starting to wonder if he actually is just trying to fuck with us.
Yeah, go on.
Because I have seen when he posted this on Twitter. When he posted this on Twitter, a lot of people were celebrating how well argued it was. Like, people were on the side of The Last Jedi is great.
No, it's not.
So that's the thing. I don't know if this is parody, but there's a lot of evidence stacking up against it at this point.
Number 1, a drunk goblin puts coins in BB-8, and that rules. Number 2, it is now canon that Maz Kanata has had sex with Justin Theroux. Number 3, watching rich people get their shit destroyed is one of the purest pleasures in all of cinema, and if you can't appreciate that, I feel sorry for you.
Ooh. What? So let's listen to that again, and let's not say anything over it, because that's a very interesting statement.
Goblin puts coins in BB-8, and that rules. Number 2, it is now canon that Maz Kanata has had sex with Justin Theroux. Number 3, watching rich people get their shit destroyed is one of the purest pleasures in all of cinema, and if you can't appreciate that, I feel sorry for you.
So to clarify, if you don't gain pleasure from watching rich people have their things destroyed, he feels sorry for you.
He's a
Can we just skip to the end of the video just to see if he's like, this was all a joke? Because if that's the case, not really much point responding to the rest.
Because like that's a bit like, whoa, dude. Like if you want people to take this seriously, it's like, ooh, that's a bit.
I'm just gonna look it up right now.
The thing is, even if it's a joke, even if he said that it's a joke, there are so many people that take it seriously.
Of course.
Like,
I still don't think this is a joke. I think it's not too far away from his plot holes video in terms of argumentation. He's really bad at it.
Yeah.
But, you know... Well,
he sponsors Skillshare at the end, too.
Of course he does.
Okay, but let's get serious here. For a long time now, I've had a beef with the original trilogy.
Okay, it was a joke.
So all of it was a joke, and now we're serious, okay? Let's
Okay. Go on.
Get serious here. For a long time now, I've had a beef with the original trilogy. See, Return of the Jedi reveals that Luke and Leia are twins, which makes Leia Darth Vader's daughter, and yet she seems to have zero connection to the Force, and she gets zero closure with her father.
Wait, you are fine with Rey having massive amounts of power without any kind of source, but you're not okay with Leia lacking a lot of power despite having a fair source. Seems kind of inconsistent to me.
I'm confused by why he would spend so much time just saying a whole bunch of like insane shit.
The reason why it doesn't bother...
Okay, let's get serious.
The reason why it doesn't bother me, Wolf, and several others about Leia is because she hasn't been trained. She hasn't unlocked the potential, if you will, like Luke does in his trilogy. Like, Luke was just like Leia.
So is Rey.
Well, this is the thing. We are annoyed at Rey because she has unlocked a massive amount of power. And we're like, how did you do that? No training, no one telling you anything, no one exploring anything with it. And it's like, okay. But with Leia, we're like, oh, Leia could be trained. Leia could be explained to how it all works. She could have her moment on Dagobah. So it's interesting to me because it's like, that's our issue, and he's looking at it in the reverse way. He's like, yeah, Rey is great, that's fine, that makes sense. But Leia, where's her moment with the Force? It's like, well, why would she have a moment with the Force? She hasn't ever had it. And besides, she does have like little inklings. She contacts Luke through the Force in Empire and you get it in The Last Jedi. Not really. She's in a coma. She felt Han die through these things. I'm curious if he's going to add to this, because this is him being serious now, if you remember.
She seems to have zero connection to the Force, and she gets zero closure with her father. Yoda says there is another, but then she doesn't get to do anything.
Because he was referring to Starkiller. God, don't you understand the law?
Not canon.
Anyway, this is a long way of saying that the much maligned scene where Leia uses the Force to pull herself back into the ship thrilled me, because in one moment it told us that she did not spend the last 30 years trapped in Amber. Of fucking course she can use the Force. She's a goddamn...
That's not the problem. It's okay that she can use the Force. It goes a bit further when she's doing something that not even Yoda should be able to do.
You know, it just occurred to me that he might have thrown in that segment where he just said a bunch of insane shit just for us.
I mean, I don't know why you would put that at the beginning. Well, I guess to try and get us off the video, maybe?
No, to get us to laugh.
I mean, I appreciate it if he literally did it just to get us to laugh, because I mean,
if that's the case, it's like, okay, you filled the void that Jared.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Like,
I've not actually heard this argument before, by the way. That people are annoyed that Leia didn't do enough with the Force in the OT, and that she didn't have closure with her father. She, you know, like those are things that really weren't developed, so they didn't have payoffs. Like you know, there's a story to be had there, I suppose, but it's strange because that's just not the focus at all, and it doesn't really have any. She's got her own shit going on, like, is what I would say. But then also to add to the whole, like, that's what makes that scene so good, is that we see her using the Force. It's like, we could have had any other way of doing that. We didn't need Mary Poppins. That was not the requirement. And there's debates constantly about whether or not she should have survived it. It's just like, can we just drop it? Of course she shouldn't have survived it.
Skywalker. Which leads me to another thing I love about this movie. It directly addressed something that I've thought about.
Doesn't mean that she can't. That she doesn't need training, because both Anakin and Luke did.
That's the thing that people tend to really look past. Like Anakin, the prodigy, the one with the most midichlorians, he still needed training for what, like 2 decades? And that's a lot of training, by the way. It's a lot. And he was still training under the Emperor, we could assume, so... Yeah, Leia should just be that powerful. This is the problem. This is the exact problem with Rey. And, you know, it's even worse with Rey, because she has no relation. Because at least if she was a Skywalker, we could be like, okay, I guess... she somehow managed to tap into Luke's power without training. You know, that would still be kind of an issue, but not even that.
She's a goddamn Skywalker. Which leads me to another thing I love about this movie. It directly addressed something that I've thought about for years. That maybe the Jedi kind of suck.
What?
Like maybe their elitist monk-like rules where they bury all their emotions aren't
Is he
especially
pretending like this is something new?
Yeah, I think we all were on board.
Hasn't that been explored in the prequels?
I thought that was the point of the prequels, that the Jedi were bloated and they had rules that we didn't really appreciate.
From my point of view, the Jedi are...
Yeah, like that's kind of a part, that's a big part of the trilogy.
Did this like 12 years ago.
And you know that this is a complicated subject, but it's like, yeah, the prequels are the story of how the Jedi essentially through their own, you could argue like sort of apathy, like they're so comfortable in their position that you know, there's a snake that rose right in front of them. But let's just see where he's going with this, I suppose.
What?
Like maybe their elitist monk-like rules where they bury all their emotions aren't especially healthy. And
who the fuck said that was healthy? Like, no, I don't think anybody interpreted it as healthy.
It has been explored in many Star Wars stories, not just the prequels, but the expanded universe as well. KOTOR explored it.
Do you think?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Under the impression is like, do you think Luke was emotionless in the OT? He would go directly against all the teachings of the Jedi in terms of maintaining no emotional attachments. Kind of.
I don't even watch the prequels. Like,
yeah, this is strange that he's using the prequels to defend The Last Jedi as well.
it's those strict rules that led Anakin Skywalker to freaking out and murdering a bunch of kids and becoming Darth Vader.
Freaking out is one way to put it.
That's, yeah, we'll leave that one go, I suppose, because he's pretty much on our team for how it's like ridiculous. But
and now we know that Luke tried to start a new Jedi Order, and then pretty much the same thing happened all over again. So when Luke said,
Not really.
I don't think Obi-Wan's tried to kill Anakin sleep.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because you've got an actual Sith Lord who's orchestrated the destruction of the entire Senate. He is, and then you've got Luke for some reason tried to murder his sister and best friend's son in his sleep, and then he decided in turn. Do you remember how that goes? He wakes up. He then locks swords with Luke and pulls the roof down on him. Luke gets knocked out. Kylo then kills every student other than the Knights of Ren and then leaves with them, and Luke wakes up to the aftermath. How insane is that? That Kylo was asleep, he woke up to this guy trying to kill him, who's supposed to be his teacher, and then decides, I'm going to kill everyone here. And not Luke, by the way. He just forgets about Luke. It's like, it doesn't make any sense at all, but it's so quick that people don't get to think about it.
Was he just viciously bullied at Jedi Academy? I mean...
They were all just making fun of him because he's so crap compared to Han Solo, who's like epic as shit. They're like, oh my god, like, why are you such a dweeb? And he's like, shut up. I'll kill all of you.
Why are you as good looking as your dad?
Your dad killed a Death Star. What have you done? It's like, I'll make a new Death Star. It'll be bigger.
Well, the explosion will be bigger.
Because you just have, like, Snoke just walks in between the time that Luke's under the rubble and gets out of it, and he's like, you should kill all of them. He's like, yeah, sure. I don't even know who you are, but it seems about right. But yeah, it's the same exact story as the prequels, really.
Says the Jedi don't work and should just stop before they ruin things some more.
Yeah, way to generalize it. Luke says that the Jedi gave rise to Palpatine, and they were the ones that trained Vader, which is the kind of shit that really bugged me in the film, because I was like, yeah, just ignore the parts where the Jedi were the ones that stopped him. You are that guy. You were the Jedi that brought peace back, but let's ignore that part. Let's ignore the fact that all the Jedi were betrayed and backstabbed across the prequels, when they tried to prevent the rise of the Sith. Let's ignore that too. Let's just say that the Jedi caused it.
Someone said that Kylo Ren is a school shooter.
I mean, it's the exact same storyline. People have actually compared him to that. Like, they've said he's...
So basically, it's like, so Kylo Ren killed all the people because they didn't have lightsaber control. Oh, got it.
Some of you guys are alright. Don't come into the Jedi Temple tomorrow. Like, fucking hell. He knew that Luke was gonna try and kill him that night.
Sitting there in the theater applauding and shouting, yes, thank you. But wait, let's slow down a little bit because that's not exactly what's happening here. Despite what Luke says at the beginning, the movie doesn't actually think the Jedi should end. After all, at the end, after Luke has learned and grown, he straight up says,
I will not be the last Jedi.
That doesn't mean that he supports the idea that the Jedi should continue. He just points out the fact that he's not the last one. But it's besides the fact that, yeah, the idea that the Jedi are broken is terrible from Luke's perspective. It doesn't even make sense. Like, one of my issues with Luke's character in the film.
The movie doesn't want the Jedi to end, it wants them to evolve. This whole movie is about moving on from the past. I like The Force Awakens, and I think it does a great job introducing interesting new characters, but the movie is obsessed with the past. It brings back the original status quo and the original conflict, and it's structured around...
Well, no, Force Awakens kind of did that, but The Last Jedi have obliterated them again, quote-unquote. They've destroyed their entire army of Star Destroyers and ripped the what was it called? The Supremacy in half. So, like, we don't even know if that's actually going to have an effect on the First Order. I guess we'll find out in the next episode if that actually matters, or if they just have another fleet of Star Destroyers, because... But, yeah, I would blame The Force Awakens for resetting the status quo more so than The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi did new things, guys. We can appreciate that.
Story beats we've seen before, and full of images we've seen before. But The Last Jedi moves forward.
Maybe he was saying that that is the case.
Is he saying that The Last Jedi is progressive?
Well, he's saying it moves forward. And he did mention that they did stick it to the 1%. Don't forget that.
I'm not going to spend 10 minutes explaining how immaculately crafted the character arcs are, because that's all covered in a great video on the channel just right.
Saw a car in the background that's not realistic. Oh no!
I was gonna say, Wolf, how are you not reacting? Let's just hear that again. Let's hear that again.
Forward. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes explaining how immaculately crafted the character arcs are, because that's all covered in a great video on the channel just right that you should go watch.
So, to clarify for you, Patrick, since you are completely unaware, one of Just Right's points were about Poe and how he refuses to learn, and how Holdo keeping the information from him was due to the fact that she couldn't trust him. We had a debate with him, and we got into the point of being silent when we actually explained how it doesn't make any sense at all for her to hold that information. So maybe that video isn't as well crafted as most would think. You know what? We should cover that at some point, 'cause we never actually did. We covered his video explaining reader response theory, but we never actually did that one. We could put that on the list.
Yeah, that would be good. But I thought you did cover this one though.
No, I've seen it, but I've never watched it on like a stream or anything. But yeah, the true reasoning behind this, by the way, is that they promote each other's videos. I don't think they actually give a shit, really. It's more about you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Because if you remember, Just Right promoted his video on plot holes. What are you doing, Wolf?
Well,
this is interesting.
Oh, that's what you're trying to get.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe,
I mean, you could leave it. It's okay. I think most people in this stream have probably seen that anyway. If you haven't, look for the Just Right debate on Dishonored Wolf's channel. But yeah, the biggest thing with Just Right was that he told us was that he kind of regrets making his Hobbit series because he didn't want to take anyone's enjoyment of the films out of them, which is kind of a sad sort of regression of his channel, being that he wanted to celebrate good writing and criticize bad writing. Now he only wants to celebrate good writing and proper bad writing, even if it's bad. Like it doesn't really care as long as it made people feel stuff. So it is interesting that this has come full circle now, because he was promoting Patrick and now Patrick's promoting him. I guess that's just a back and forth. Why not?
They're friends, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not
they
saying
probably talk to each other. Patrick won't, though. I'll give Just Right this. At least he had the balls to come on and talk to us. Patrick has outright admitted on his Twitter account that he will not talk to people that he doesn't have respect for.
Yeah, and then it's developed into like people he agrees with, basically. And that's the thing.
He literally just outright admitted that he lives in an echo chamber.
And that's the thing. There are some people. Some people like are okay with that. They'll be like, yeah, that's defendable. That's fine. It's just like, well, it's not going to give you a very broad view of media ever.
He did say that if you didn't like the titty monster scene,
He doesn't
you're
wanna
not
be
his friend. You're not his friend.
We can't be friends anymore.
Yeah, you still invited, Patrick, to come and watch bad video essays with us on this channel. We'll do it with you. It'll be fun.
He won't do it.
But the movie beautifully weaves together arcs for Rey, Finn, Poe, Luke, and Kylo Ren, in which they all...
I'm sorry, what the hell was Kylo's arc? I'm a good guy, no, I'm a bad guy. I'm a good guy, I'm a bad guy. Like, interesting. He does no idea. Nobody has any idea what Kylo's doing. Kylo certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, because
taking off his shirt.
A lot of people cite the fact that if he had actually left the First Order, or done his own thing, become a lone wolf, he'd be like, oh, that could be interesting. I wonder where he's gonna. It's like, no, he just literally, as soon as Rey leaves, is the de facto Empire again, and just starts assaulting Hoth, because why not?
Kylo Ren.
I love it. It's like as if the fucking. How many movies can even have extremely detailed and meaningful 5 different arcs in 2 hours? Like it's you'd have to be pretty fucking impressive to be able to nail that. And it's like that's not what happens in this film. It's just confusion.
The Lord of the Ring.
Is that in one film, would you say, or would you say across the 3?
Well, I count the 3 as one film anyway.
Oh well, yeah. In that case, it extended. That does have quite a few hours on The Last Jedi.
Infinity War.
You got Iron Man. I would say is definitely a strong one. People would like who else would you say? Like Thanos would be 2. Because a lot of characters are there, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I don't think you can have it's like give everyone an arc, give all 40 characters an arc, and be like, no, please. But what I'm trying to argue is it's very fucking difficult to have 5 meaningful character arcs in one movie. You can do it. It's just that, do you really think The Last Jedi was one of the films that did that? No.
Oh, I got one. The Gray. There's 6 meaningful character arcs.
Oh, there you go. Like I said,
video coming soon, everyone.
there you go, and he'll prove
Just gotta
it.
throw my plug in there.
Is your video gonna be? If you guys don't like the grape, you have bad taste, and I don't want to be friends with you.
Well, no.
Learn from failure and move on from the past, finally all tying together right at the moment when Haldo tears a Star Destroyer.
Haldo.
Haldo.
Admiral Haldo.
In recent cinema, and if you're too hung up on the made-up science in this
Oh
fictional
shit! Wait, did I skip over something there?
learn from failure and move on from the past, finally all tying together right at the moment when Haldo tears a Star Destroyer in half in one of the straight-up coolest moments in recent cinema, and if you're too hung up on the made-up science in this fictional world of space wizards to enjoy that, then I weep for you, because
I weep for you. Sorry, it ruins
weep
the
for
stakes
you.
of all of the past space battles. Sorry though. Do you guys remember being like on the edge of your seat when they're trying to survive the onslaught of the Death Star in Episode 6 while they try and get rid of the shield generator, and you're like, "Come on, do it!" And then
it was on the edge of my seat when they started like pulling away from the Death Star, when they realized the shield wasn't down, and then they came face to face with the fleet behind them.
yeah,
And then the Death Star starts shooting up all their ships, and it could do it in like only a minute instead of an hour.
it's literally
So-
like one of the moments of just like, Jesus Christ, the good guys are about to be obliterated, like, because they've just been trapped and the Death Star's active. And then the shield goes down, and then the music rises as they all fucking go inside the Death Star, and it's epic as shit. And it's just like, when you watch that back now, you'll be like, why isn't the X-Wing just fucking... Why is this hyperdrive? Why isn't the Millennium Falcon just hyperdrive?
Yeah,
Why aren't they...
yeah, that's like one of the biggest questions that I have. Like, is hyperspace hyperdrive like suicide bombing a thing?
Apparently.
Is this a thing?
Well, see, some people are like, you needed a massive ship, and it's like, well, the Raddus has similar. It's the biggest of the capital ships, I believe, in history of the Star Wars episodes, but they still had those capital ships in Episode 6.
Someone in the chat, I'm sorry, it just made me laugh really hard. Someone said, "How does his mother not beat him?"
Oh, I forgot that they're even in this video. Like, what was the point of them? I guess they're just a gag. That's probably it. But yeah, that's he's saying like, oh, I feel sorry for you if you can't, you know, get over the science part of it. And I'd be like, normally it would be fine if this was the only movie in the fucking series, but unfortunately it ruins the stakes in the old one if I take this one seriously, which you can fucking guarantee I won't
It's
be.
the logic, it's the consistency between the films that we have issues with, not necessarily the science of it.
Yeah, it's not. I can believe it that you can hyperspace into something and it destroys it. It's just that the other episodes are relying on the idea that that's not a thing. So
Yes.
you've ruined that. It's like, who am I going to believe? Well, it's not even the 6. You can count Force Awakens and Rogue One and Solo in the collection of films that did not fuck that up. All those films, all The Last Jedi. Whose continuity are you going to follow? It's like, I'm going to go ahead and follow the good ones, if you don't mind.
one more time, this is a movie about space wizards intended for children. But the point
And that's why you've spent so long explaining why you adore this film, and it's got some of the best cinematic experiences in recent memory.
He does kind of imply that he's a child, so...
Well, I was gonna say that I don't know if that's a low blow or not. Is that what he's trying to say? Is he like, I love this and I think it is for children, therefore I'm kind of like a kid? Like, I don't know.
He did kind of say that.
And the Space Wizards argument, as so many people are getting frustrated at, it's just like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't fucking mean anything. Drop it. I don't know why you think it helps you.
The point I'm making is that this is a movie about moving forward. It is not, as some people believe, about burning the past or killing the past.
I don't think you're gonna have good luck arguing that one.
Isn't that the definition of like moving forward? Like,
I mean,
burying
you could
the
argue
past?
that, yeah. Get rid of the past to move forward, but you know, this film shits on the OT more so than any other Star Wars film ever did. That's why it's like, wow, they really hated the past, didn't they?
yeah.
Because a lot of people cited the prequels.
They literally said, you know, make the past die, kill it if you have to.
Yeah, and as I said, there are YouTubers who promoted that. They were like, that's an interesting philosophy, that if you want to move forward in life, you do actually sort of cut the past out of your life, you kill it. It's like, fucking hell. Calm down.
I mean, sure, but it doesn't work with Star Wars.
In the past die. Kylo Ren, while probably the best new Star Wars character since Yoda...
People keep saying that.
No.
Also, wait, why is he bringing Dexter Jester into this? I've got to see what the reasoning is for
burning
that.
the past, or killing the past, or letting the past die. Kylo Ren, while probably the best new Star Wars character since Yoda, other than Dexter Jester, of course, is a...
Okay, well, at least he like understands.
That was clearly a joke.
Yeah.
At least he knows that Dexter. Well, no, that's not a joke because Dexter is the best character in the Star Wars expanded universe. I'm just saying we need a Dexter Star Wars story.
But
okay.
There's a lot of people. I Hate Everything is one of the people that says that Kylo is the best character across the saga. It blows my mind how you... Do you know how easy it would be for me and Wolf to just write a story where there's a character who just keeps doing things. They're just good and bad things, and they just keep doing things, and the audience is like, wow, I wonder what their actual motivations are, their goals are, what they value, and that's how you write the best character, apparently. When you have nothing to go on, when they're just insane, they just do things. People are like, oh, so interesting. And you know why? Because they're generating the character themselves. They're like, oh, they're conflicted because of this, and they're doing this because of this. It's like, we didn't even get the scene where Luke tried to kill Kylo and people were saying that Kylo was the best character in Saga from Force Awakens, which again, we've got barely anything to go on. We really have nothing to go on with Kylo. He's just crazy. He does bad and good things all the time.
Yeah,
He was
to
like...
say that he's the best character on the new trilogy is not saying much.
He's like a psychopath at the end of Force Awakens, like trying to destroy everything, kill everyone, despite even with the wound. And then like throughout The Last Jedi, he's like, so I guess I am kind of a monster, but did you know that that's because of Luke? And it's like, what the... Why are you... You were like an Imperial Dreadnought man, being like, I'm gonna kill everybody who opposes me. But now you're like, you know, I may be a bad guy, but Luke's not exactly a good guy. It's like, what the fuck? And then it's like, oh, he's so layered. He's so complicated. It's like, sure,
People
fine.
in the chat are pointing out he's pretty much just a really bad knockoff of Jason Solo from the books. I don't really know much about Jason Solo, but
Yeah, I've definitely heard that before as well. Let me ask you this: is he going to be a good guy or a bad guy in the 9th episode when it starts?
well, bad guy.
The assumption would be bad guy, but if it started with him basically being outside of the First Order, and then he contacts Rey and says, "We need to stop them," and then she's like, "Why should I trust you?" I would just immediately be like, "Yeah, I guess he could do that. He just flip flops all the time, so just be careful, Rey. If you defeat the First Order with him."
Like, who will be the villain that they will fight together if he ends up being the good guy?
It'll be,
because
you know, Glorm, as I explained in my series. He's gonna be Snoke's brother. He's gonna come in and be like, "You killed my brother," and that'll be his character. And he'll be like, "I can move planets with my hand," and he'll be like, "Ooh, new force powers." He just crushes it and fucking Infinity Gauntlets it towards Iron Man. It makes sense.
Or maybe it'll go full Dead Space 3 and they'll have to fight an evil tentacle moon.
They have to throw it into the black hole like in Solo.
We need more Cthulhu in Star Wars. Come on, guys.
But yeah,
that couldn't have been the end of Cthulhu.
All people are gonna say
it's
about
more powerful than that.
All people are gonna say about Kylo is that he's super conflicted, and it's so interesting to watch him deal with all the conflict. And you're just like, I was absolutely in the audience of Force Awakens that told myself when he killed Han Solo that he was definitively the bad guy. You know, I was like, oh, he's decided. And then in this film, it was like, no, he hasn't. He's still a good guy. And you're like, oh. And then the end of this film, it's like, no, he's the bad guy. He's decided. And you're like, wonder if they're gonna do that in Episode 9 to make him sympathetic. Because this is the thing, they keep running out of times to make the audience go, oh, I guess he is a good guy. Do you remember how Vader was basically just strict evil right up until, you know, Luke just kept fucking pushing? He was like, finally did a good deed. It's like, Kylo, I don't even know what they're going for. I swear to God, if they redeem him at the end of Episode 9, that they're like, he's actually the good guy, and like Rey dies to save him or something, I'm gonna be like, oh God.
Well, at least we got rid of the Mary Sue.
Dude, Maz Kanata's gonna die for him. We'll be like, oh my God, Maz. Oh no.
How did you get here?
Who are you? I forgot. Which one are you?
A selfish, entitled piece of shit. And while the...
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
I'm assuming that was about Kylo.
Other than Dexter Jester, of course, is a selfish, entitled piece of shit. And while the movie presents his point of view, it does not endorse it. One of the weirder aspects of the backlash to The Last Jedi has been how many people take Kylo Ren's side. claiming the movie really does want to kill the past, and in the conflicting stories about that night in the Jedi training camp, they believe him, not Luke. The movie is not saying...
Well, no, they give us an answer at the end. They you know, it's Luke's side of the story, then Kylo's, and then we get the truth, you know, where it's like a 50-50 thing.
He's like saying that, you know, Kylo Ren's the most interesting, and then he's like, well, I don't get why people are taking his side. It's like, I don't know, maybe because Luke decided to destroy everything that was built up for him, and then he decided to become a psychopathic murderer, and then Kylo Ren was given like some sort of reason to be evil.
It's such a mess, dude, because you start at the beginning, you go, innocent guy training to be Jedi, his master betrays him, and you're like, oh wow, that gets my sympathy, and then it's like, so he kills all the students. You're like, what? And then he becomes the new Vader. You're like, what? Why? And then you're like, and then he decides that he might be good, and you're like, okay, but then he kills his dad. You're like, okay then. And you're like, but then he decides he might be good. And you're like, what? I'm not following. And then he decides to kill his master of the evil guys. You're like, oh, so he's a good guy. Then he decides to kill all the good guys. You're like, oh Jesus,
It goes back and forth.
Make up your mind.
And yeah, it'll be interesting. That's why I want to see episode 9, because we will have the answers, because it will end, like the story will be, well, who knows, maybe they'll bait a sequel trilogy, if you know what I mean by that, like 3 movies to be a
sequel to the sequel trilogy.
Sequel trilogy.
Yeah. But I don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. Kylo's confusing to me. I think the biggest problem I have with him is the same as Anakin, where the event that makes him evil does not explain the event of murdering innocent people in scores immediately. Because a lot of people cite the fact that Anakin killed the Tusken Raiders kids, and like, as that's like a tell for how. I just think there's a difference between like massacring a village full of people who are essentially like, I don't know, they capture and torture people regularly, right? Versus what look to be like 5-year-olds that are all hiding in a room. Like, so, you know, for me, it's difficult to accept that. But then you've also got the Kylo one where it's like, yeah, I don't understand. And it's like, why are we in this position? Well, because they gave us 3 flashbacks, all of which were the same moment, just told from slightly different perspective. Like, instead of actually taking some time to sort of show the progression. Why did Kylo turn evil, and why did that matter? Who was he before then? What did Luke see? It's like, no, none of those are answered. You have to think it up yourself. I mean, at least fanfiction writers have lots of work to do.
Yeah, they actually do research.
They could be the ones that explain all of this.
We should end the Jedi. It's saying we should take some of their lessons, but maybe not the dogmatic interpretation of their way of life.
Oh, kind of like the OT? Kind of like how the OT was like, Luke is pretty much a Jedi, but the new Jedi? Because he clearly had emotional attachments to the point of trying to save Vader against Yoda and Obi-Wan's wishes. Kind of like how we explored this already. Kind of like how the prequel showed the bad side of the dogmatic nature of the Jedi. Kind of like how The Last Jedi doesn't make sense in its message anyway, but go on, I suppose.
Go on.
I mean, guys, Yoda shows up and straight up states the theme.
The greatest teacher failure is.
Which is one of my criticisms. If you have a theme, don't bat it into the face of the audience. That's precisely the opposite of what you should do with a theme.
Failure is the greatest teacher. Rey, I don't recall Rey ever having suffered any sorts of failure.
What people cite for that is usually that Rey tried to get Kylo to the light side and failed. That's her failure, apparently. Again, her biggest flaw is being too nice.
Yeah, when this scene came up, when this just came up, the first thing I just thought back to that ER video on the, and I genuinely expected Yoda to be like, fuck that shit.
I like the red letter media interpretation where they're just like, why is Yoda a crazy asshole in this scene when he's supposed to be all wise and shit? He's like playing the character he was when Luke first met him, where he's just like, destroy everything, burn the temple. What happened to the freaking fish nuns in the morning when they were like, this is our only job to take care of this fucking place, and you burnt it down, you asshole. And it's like, I didn't do it, the ghost puppet did it. Like, oh sure.
I just like that ER has pretty much replaced the bad memories of this movie with some happy ones.
But yeah, I'm surprised as a film major studier person that he's blatantly okay with a theme just being told to the audience of a film. What we're supposed to do with a film or a story is delve into the subtext and use the references to infer like a message or an idea that's consistent throughout it, instead of just going, the theme of this film, failure is best teacher. And you're like, oh, okay, neat.
When it comes to its main themes, this movie is not subtle, and yet a whole lot of people miss what it's doing because they
subtle.
Yeah, the theme should be subtle.
I was gonna
If
say,
the theme is blatant and in your face, then you did a theme wrong.
he's apparently aware of this, and he's using it as a counterpoint. Like, people didn't catch the theme, even though it was obvious. I think they did. The problem is how badly done it is. Just because you have a theme doesn't mean it's virtuous of being a theme. Like, come on, it has to be well done. You can't just go, you know. We've been through this with.
Blatantly explain it.
We did this with Just Right. We were like, there's a theme of, you know, friendship and betrayal in the room. Like, does that mean does that mean the room is incredible now? It's like, and I think Just Right was like, well, you know, there are some people out there who think the room.
As soon as he said that, it was like, okay.
Yeah, it's done. It's over. He wants to say that The Room is a masterpiece by his subjective standards, so sure, whatever.
Failure is.
When it comes to its main themes, this movie is not subtle,
Doesn't
and
even
yet a
sound
whole
like
lot of
Yoda.
people miss what it's doing because they'd rather obsess about how, I don't know, force fields work. Now, while
What?
What?
What are you talking about, you blithering idiot?
I thought he was going to reference the lightning from Yoda. That would make more sense, but no, he went with force fields?
I can't even think of a thing. Were there force fields in The Last Jedi?
I'm not sure what he's referencing. Maybe the gravity part of the bomber, that they would have been they're supposed to be a force field?
I mean, there should have been.
See, this is the thing. A lot of people said they were really annoyed with my series because I didn't talk about the themes and I focused on plot holes and stuff. I've got like a 20-minute section on themes in the third part. Well, it's probably not that long, but like I go into how stupid it is to use themes alone as a defense for the film. And it's like, trust me, just because I hated the plot holes doesn't mean that I ignored the themes. I saw them; they were clear as day.
Bigger picture.
Of course, and this is what I mean. It's like they're hammered into you as part of why they're so bad.
Rey, Poe, Finn, and Kylo all learn from their failures and grow as people. Side note, Finn's arc is the best, and the moment when he wrecks
Oh God, jeez, calm down.
Go back.
Patrick, you can't lay that on us so quickly.
Is not subtle, and yet a whole lot of people miss what it's doing because they'd rather obsess about how, I don't know, force fields work. Now, while Rey, Poe, Finn, and Kylo all learn from their failures and grow as people, side note, Finn's arc is the best, and the moment when he wrecks Phasma and proudly declares himself to be rebel scum is my favorite moment in the movie.
And it didn't make any sense because he has no reference for the rebels, only the resistance, so he should have said, I'm resistance scum or something. But even outside of that, though, his arc... Does anyone have a stab at what they thought his arc was? Because I'm still pretty lost on that one.
He doesn't even have any training to face Phasma.
He became scum, I guess.
So,
Which, that sounds kind of racist. I don't know.
Can you imagine if he was like, resisted scum? It just doesn't sound as good, does it? So yeah, he goes from being, I want to run away from everything, to, okay, I want to run away, but I will defend the people I love, being Rey, I suppose, or care about. Then he goes to, in order to protect Rey, this time I need to leave the ship, and, you know, go back to being sort of cowardly and bumbling, because they have a couple of bumbly jokes with him again, which I've never really gotten with Finn. I don't know why they make him bumbling all the time. It's just like, okay, cool, he's like a clown, I guess. And then he gets called a coward several times by Rose and put onto this quest to save the fleet, and then convinced by DJ, by the realization that good guys and bad guys power the 1%, that is what gives him the idea to, yes, I'm gonna die for the resistance. The most confusing shit ever to think about.
Yeah. It's a very confused character arc, if there is ever one.
Like I said, I've put it in my video, but I cannot get over the fact that he has a lesson on how morality goes both ways and how there is no right guy in this war, and then he decides there is a right guy from that. It's like... how did you get that? How did that happen?
Kind of missing the point there, Finn.
Because DJ would be so disappointed in him. He'd be like, I thought I told you, man. Jeez. But yeah, okay, fine.
Anyway.
He's got the best arc, apparently.
Okay.
The best example of this is Mr. Lucas Skywalker, drinker of milk and catcher of big fish. Now, I love Luke Skywalker. I love him when he's whiny, I love him when he's heroic, and I really love him when he's conflicted. And in the conversation around The Last Jedi, I've discovered that a lot of people have misunderstood Luke Skywalker for a really long time.
Well,
okay. Okay.
It's the same thing Macintosh said. It's that we don't get it. That's always how it works.
Okay.
We don't get it.
Okay.
We don't
Go
get
on.
it.
Luke's presentation here is one of the most controversial aspects of the movie. They took our hero and made him a sad, bitter old man. And yeah, I get it. It's
And they didn't explain it, but yes, go on.
a bit of a shock. Just look at Rey. She's shocked. She thought he was going to
Walk out with a laser sword and face down the whole First Order.
And he has no intention of doing that. Now, I've spent an unhealthy amount of time reading the comments from this movie's detractors, and a ton of
I thought you didn't.
Really?
I thought you didn't have it. Know why people don't like it.
Really?
Oh, you said you didn't know why people didn't like it. I thought that's what he said. He's a liar.
If you actually did, you would actually respond to their arguments. A lot of these things that you point out are mostly straw men.
Yeah, it's
Like nobody's arguing. Nobody's arguing about the force field. It's like.
Also, why are you looking at the comments for comments on a kids movie, dude? That's just sad. It's just a kids movie. Taking it so seriously. God, Patrick, why are you drinking coffee as kids drink? Wait, he has milk too in that other video. It's like, this is kids drinks. Taking it seriously as a drink.
What's that little blue thing by your hand, Patrick?
Yeah, it's probably a kids thing. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like the lid of a cookie jar. Why are you eating cookies? It's kids. Kids eat cookies.
of people wanted him to be off on that island learning ancient Jedi secrets, getting more powerful, and then showing up to like...
Didn't have to be that. Didn't have to be that. It could have been that he was looking for an answer on how to maybe fix something or learn about some trick that could have helped in some way. It doesn't have to be that he becomes God or something. He could have died in this film by failing to defeat someone in a fight, like Snoke, for example, and you still could have done it well. It's about execution, my friend. And the biggest issue, by the way, is like I've always said, is like Luke could have been the guy we saw in that film, but if you don't show us how he got there, which, by the way, would take like 3 films probably to do it correctly, then we're just not going to believe that's Luke. Why should we? It's just a new guy that you called Luke, and you wanted to tell us that he used to be Luke. Simple as that.
It's Jake Skywalker. Nickname people gave to him.
Oh, it was what? It was what Mark said.
Someone in the chat said waiting for the random shot at CinemaSins.
I'm sure we'll get that.
Oh.
Pull Star Destroyers out of the sky and becoming a Super Saiyan, I guess. But Luke Skywalker is not a power fantasy.
No one ever said otherwise.
Who are you countering with this? Who are you talking to?
Yes.
Who is saying, I want to see Luke pull Star Destroyers out of the space? It's like, okay, good for you.
I read every comments, guys. I read every
Yeah,
comment.
that's the most consistent thing people were saying. They wanted to see Luke pull Star Destroyers out of space. That's what I was reading everywhere. That's what me and Wolf said. I think that was the end of both of our videos. We said the biggest issue was that he didn't pull Star Destroyers out of space.
A New Hope is not about an ordinary kid.
Just like Starkiller?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm surprised. Maybe he's referencing that. He just doesn't want to admit it. I don't know.
But Luke Skywalker is not a power fantasy. A New Hope is not about an ordinary kid becoming the biggest badass in the galaxy. It's about an ordinary kid who wants to be a part of something greater, to have a purpose in the universe. And as his story goes on, he does that, but finds out that it's way more complicated than he thought.
Why are you saying this like it counters something? It's so bizarre.
You know, it's funny how he said that we don't understand Luke Skywalker. He says, yeah, everything so far he said about Luke is correct.
And he's saying it like, you were wrong the whole time. It's like, no, this is what we're saying. Stop. What are you doing?
Turns out his family is a fucking mess. It turns out that he's a little bit angry, and every so often he needs to put on some Disturbed and get dark.
Oh, Jesus.
I hate you for putting Disturbed on here.
Oh, God.
Not because I don't like Disturbed, because I do like Disturbed. I just hate that you're using it.
I can't believe he's used that on this scene. Oh, way to sap the emotional value with fucking Disturbed. Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh,
just the fact that I'm not gonna associate him with Disturbed, and I don't like that.
Oh, Jesus, why couldn't you have picked anything else? Stop it.
Luke's a complicated guy. And to return to him 30 years later and have him be an ultra-powerful paragon of goodness would be pretty boring.
Oh my good God.
At least explain how he can be from one to the other. That's what people are arguing.
Jesus Christ. It's simple as that. If Luke was Luke, it would have been boring. That's how that works.
If Luke would be boring.
You know who else is complicated? Rey. It's weird that she gets accused.
Oh, Jesus Christ, he's gonna argue Rey's complicated.
Rey's
Do you remember
complicating what?
Do you remember the scene where Rey says, he says, "Why are you here, Rey?" And she's like, "I have no idea." Because there's nothing to go on. She has no idea what's going on.
Of being a flawless character who never makes mistakes because, man, she has got problems. She has no idea.
What you're gonna have to really, really lie about the narrative this time. You're gonna have to stretch the scenes as best you can.
What to do with herself and keeps running to different people.
Yeah, that's true. She does seem to connect with different people.
Actually, roll back.
Oh, she's doing the feminist face now.
Would be pretty boring. You know who else is complicated? Rey. It's weird that she gets accused of being a flawless character who never makes mistakes because, man, she has got problems. She has no idea what to do.
See, I can't help.
Oh, she has a problem.
I can't help but see him as he's very manipulative in the way he just said that, right? He deliberately throws in the idea. So instead of saying, people are saying that she has no flaws and they cite these as reasons, I'm going to argue against that. Instead of that, he skips over those people as if they're irrelevant. He's like, man, does she have so many flaws? It's like, no, you know that is the complete opposite of the most common thing said about Rey. It's like, you're doing it to quickly get rid of it. You're like, no, the idea that she has no flaws, out of the way, out of the way. Like, we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about all these things that I'm just going to make up. For fuck's sake.
She has got problems. She has no idea what to do with herself and
why is no idea what to do with herself? That's the writer's fucking problem. It makes her non-human. She's like, she had a goal, then she just forgets about it. Now she's just following. She's like a pinball inside a pinball machine. She's just like, whoa, whoa, I'm over here now. Whoa, I'm gonna go see Luke. Fine, I guess. Whoa, oh, now I'm getting trained by Luke. Sort of not. I'm gonna go to Kylo now. Woo! I have no reason to do any of these things, but yeah.
Rey is kind of like that guy who's trying to join your group of friends, but none of you actually want him to be there, and you're just kind of hoping that he'll leave at some point.
And he has like no interests, so you can discern. You're like, what do you like? And he's like, stuff. Like. Neat.
Sort of guidance. She plainly states.
Also, wait a second. I really like how he says that.
Show me my place.
I really like how he says that Rey has so many flaws, because she doesn't have. She has no idea what to do, and yet she can like fly the Millennium Falcon like early on, like without even any sort of training.
Yeah, like not knowing where you want to go today. That's not really what people call a flaw. You'll be alright, especially if you're as powerful as her. As flaws go, you know, everyone else is dealing with like addiction or just sins in general, like pride and stuff. She's just like, yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going, to be honest. I might go over there. And they're like, oh, I hope that works out for you. And she's like, who knows? We'll find out episode 9, I suppose.
Different people, hoping they'll provide her with some sort of guidance. She plainly states it.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
And this brings us to the incredible moment when Kylo Ren reaches out his hand and offers her a place she can belong. We
have no idea what he's even really offering her. He's just like, let's go to somewhere. Let's leave the First Order and go somewhere. Maybe to a planet, chill out somewhere.
I can show you the galaxy.
Like, let's be honest, if she'd taken his hand and he was like, let's get into a shuttle, and then they just fly away, it would be like, Rey, what are you doing? What's the plan here, Rey? Like, what's gonna happen now? Like, don't you? This is the part that really fucks with my mind, is that she furiously hates him at the end of Force Awakens and the beginning of this film, and it takes her like the story that Luke saw a bad future in Kylo to convince her that Kylo is worth saving. It's like, but you've seen that Luke was right. He did have a bad. It's like, yes, but Luke caused it. It's like, Luke didn't ask Kylo to kill all the students, you idiot.
Yeah, let's ignore all the genocides that Kylo committed. It's just this.
It's insane. It doesn't make any sense at all. And it's just, they look at it as layered. They look at it as complicated, and you're like, oh, I guess you could look at it like that.
Movies have had a lot of moments where bad guys ask good guys to join them, but this was the first time that I thought there was a chance the good guy might actually accept. And that is the mark of good storytelling.
You can't even tell us why. It's just she didn't know where she was going. So why not join the bad guys, I suppose? It wouldn't have made any sense. She has investment in the good guys. She knows all of the good guys. Why would she go with Kylo? It wouldn't make any sense. If she had, and this is the thing, with how badly written the film is, I could have seen her going with him, and I would have made a video about how it doesn't make any fucking sense that she would have gone with him. But she didn't, so that's not where we are. But interesting that you just call it good writing. It's fascinating.
So I've talked a lot about how I wanted this movie to push Star Wars forward and do new things, and it did all of that. But I also said I wanted a rip-roaring good time, and it is absolutely 100% that. The thing begins with the space...
I mean, yeah, if characters say woo, you know, that's all you need at that point.
Wait, didn't he say this before? Like
what?
Didn't he say that? Well, I just want a good time, and then he proceeded to say which one were the best battles. Like,
well, if he's, I mean, yeah, he definitely has complimented the battle already, but why not just do it again? You know.
100% that. The thing begins with a space battle and ends with a desperate last stand where the Resistance has nothing to use but MS-DOS computers and janky little...
What?
What?
What? Okay.
Fighters on a salt planet, and porgs are popping up everywhere. And
why is that a positive? I don't understand.
Phasma has a sweet spear.
Phasma has a sweet spear. Sure.
And every single thing in the scene rules so hard.
Except the choreography. Sure, everything rules.
Oh my god, he's fanboying so much like a freaking child. Like,
I know. There's no discussion anymore. It's just this is good, even if it's awful. This is good. It's like okay.
Popping up everywhere, and Phasma has a sweet spear, and every single thing in the scene rules so hard. And also, this is the funniest goddamn thing.
I feel something.
You feel it?
Yes, I feel it.
That's the Force.
Really?
Wow, it must be really strong
Oh,
with
I've
you.
never felt any... Ow!
And yeah, guys, this movie is...
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that joke, but it doesn't save the movie.
That scene was funny, but it doesn't save the movie.
Funny. I know you love old sourpuss Christopher Nolan and that stoic, dour tone he brings to everything, but...
What?
What?
Where did that come from?
He kind of did that in The Last Jedi too. Like,
what's with the Nolan hate? That was weird.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, just fuck
on.
Christopher Nolan and his films.
Sourpuss Christopher Nolan and that stoic, dour tone he brings to everything, but lighten up. You ever see Goodfellas? That movie is funny. It's also scary.
What the hell are you doing right now? Arguing that there's comedy in dramatic films? Infinity War came out this year. I don't know.
Wait. What was the movie that he said it was funny?
Goodfellas.
What? Okay.
I guess it needs to have one joke in it for it to be as good as The Last Jedi. I guess that's the requirement. I have no idea what's going on anymore. Wolf, you alive?
Go on.
Yeah, Wolf is dead. Patrick killed him.
He's dead.
Scary, intense, and emotionally devastating. A movie can make you feel different things. Humor is good. Why am I even explaining this?
You have to explain it because it was tonally balked. You can have comedy and drama, but you don't do what fucking Rian Johnson did.
Nobody's even arguing that the humor is like. Has anyone even argued that the humor in The Last Jedi was bad?
Well, I've definitely heard people argue that the joke, like the Yo Mama joke, didn't exactly land for a lot of people, did it?
And I hath returned.
He's just said, Wolf, in defense of the humor in The Last Jedi, that there is humor in films, you know.
What?
Don't you agree? Are you saying there isn't humor in good films? Is that what you're saying? You know, dramatic films?
I'm gonna leave again. Oh my god.
And unrelated, but I just want to mention how much I love Adam Driver's delivery of...
Blow that piece of junk out of the sky!
Yeah, I loved him going right back to being a cartoon after baiting development and then removing it. It was great.
Yeah,
God, look at that face.
This is a movie about moving on. Moving on from failures and selfishness and self-loathing and empty heroics. moving on from only certain families being
And those are nice ideas, but they executed them horrifically badly.
special and everything being like it was 30 years ago. Moving on from the same old story beats and the same old status quo.
Which they brought back and then re-established and continued. They did not break it at all. Even people who...
We only got 3 minutes left. I'm so excited.
Come on!
Even people who liked The Last Jedi will usually cite that it's such a shame that Kylo became, you know, the Emperor, basically, and that we're back to being Rebels versus Empire again. Just like, don't mention that part, though, Patrick. Don't mention it.
I love Star Wars. I love the world and the characters and the feeling I get every time that the title hits the screen as the fanfare explodes out of the speakers. And watching The Last Jedi, I was hit by a thought. For the first time, I could see this story continuing for decades to come.
Yeah, they can run it right into the ground, mate. You are right.
We should stop.
They're gonna make
There's
millions.
There's a point where you have to stop.
That would, dude, I'm not even kidding. When I saw that scene, my takeaway was, oh, they have an excuse to make 1 million Star Wars films now. That's the only reason this scene exists.
You know, you can't just keep a series going forever because it tends to turn into shit every time. What long-running series...
Well, funnily enough, James Bond is just up and down and up and down. Like, there's good ones, bad ones, good ones, bad ones. The latest one was awful, as far as I know. I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah. Spectre, it was bleh.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but there's a new Bond coming, as far as I know.
Well, yeah, but doesn't James Bond... I'm not at all familiar with the James Bond films. Isn't it, like, it's not all the same continuous story?
It's more like... It's almost a genre. It's practically just a spy. Like, each film is only connected by genre, really.
More like superhero films in that sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just the same continuous story. At some point, you can't continue the same story forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You can't.
Well, obviously, they can jump to another part of the galaxy, or universe even, and have no references to any of the characters that we know and love or whatever, which, by the way, I'd be on board with, because you can just make something with Star Wars... I don't know, rules in the universe, obviously, because the Force is quite a fun thing to mess around with. Bounty hunters are cool. You can make loads of alien things. But, like, no, if they carry on with Rey, it's just going to go on and on. And this is the thing, I think some people on this planet thought that maybe we could fast forward by 1 million years and we have, like, thousands of Star Wars films. And you know what? Maybe more than half of them were good. Maybe that could happen. But, like, The Last Jedi has fucking killed so many people's investments. It's like, no, I'd rather you just stop making them now.
Yeah, like Solo Bomb, for God's sake. Like, it's... The how Solo Bomb, it's just... It's astonishing. Like,
also, it's funny,
Star Wars.
You'll find a lot of people are like, bombed? Oh, so it made 420 million or whatever, and you consider that bad? It's like... You judge it by how much they spent. Like, that's how it works.
Yes.
If you spend 250 million on fucking marketing, then any film is going to make a lot of money. I mean, assuming you can make a good trailer instead of it being god-awful. But yeah, you know, it's interesting. We'll genuinely, I think the damage The Last Jedi has done will be found in the box office for Episode 9 rather than Solo. But Solo definitely shows blood in the water, if you will.
Yes.
It was the moment in the Battle of Crate when the Millennium Falcon arrives with Chewie in the pilot's seat and Rey operating the gun turret. My mind flashed forward years from now, and I thought about how we'll talk about Star Wars in terms of eras. There will be constants through the series. The Millennium Falcon will remain, but we'll talk about the era when Han Solo owned it, or the era when...
I hope it doesn't.
Or when L3 piloted it. Never remember that era?
Or when L3 became it. Oh, all of it. Great.
Jesus.
Rey did. And this was all because of things The Last Jedi did. This was no longer a story about special people from a few select bloodlines.
That's not what... That was never the restriction. It was never...
What bloodline did Anakin have? Born out of nothing.
And then,
literally.
What about all the people on the Jedi Council? Were they all from Skywalker's lineage or something? Like, come on. That's not what they were saying. He was just legendary to... He was prophesied to be the most powerful Jedi. And they judged it by midichlorian count or whatever. Maybe that's potential. I'd have to look at the actual explanation for it, because I can't remember, but... The prequels and the OT never said you have to come from a bloodline to be powerful. Or to be a Force user, let's say. That's not a thing. You're inventing that. The Last Jedi didn't change shit.
The Force works.
Like, I love how they changed the narrative to that. Our complaints are not that. It's that we... This is crazy, I know. But we like the idea that you train, practice, and become better at a skill. That's cool to us, because we relate to that. It's something humans have to do pretty much across the board. Anything you want to do, you have to get better at it by doing it. It's a thing. You don't just automatically become the best fucking carpenter in the world.
Yeah, I actually really like the idea. I actually really like the idea of like new people from different parts of the galaxy just becoming legendary based on their own merits rather than lineage. Like, people really like that idea.
It can happen though. That's the thing. It was never like you can't have it. This is the thing. They could have traveled to a planet where there was a Force-using guy, but he wasn't like a Jedi, and he could just be like he's the warrior of this planet or something like that. There's the originals never said you couldn't do that. Simple as that. He's like, no, the Last Jedi opened it up. It's like
this was a story about a whole galaxy, and the people.
It was a story about a space chase at a casino world. That's what it was about. There's no galaxy in there. Are you kidding me? The one thing that everyone pretty much universally agrees upon with the Disney trilogy is that they've made an enormous universe feel extremely small, and that everyone happens to bump into each other like they're all at the supermarket. It's but this is the thing.
The Force Awakens did this better, where they made it at least kind of feel like you were in the same galaxy.
Yeah, they gave us Takodana was a planet they went to, and then we had the Death Star planet. That's something. I guess we got Crate Wolf, so you can't complain about Hoth 2.0.
All right.
People who shape its future could come from anywhere. They could be anyone. From here, Star Wars could go anywhere. And
It always could, you piece of shit. It was never limited in the first place.
Should it really be anyone can just do everything, though?
Well, that's the difference. He's kind of arguing as if our problem is that anybody can become Darth Vader now, and he's saying, yeah, that's great that anybody is allowed to use power and train. It's like, no. We're saying that they skip the part where they become it, they just are it, and that's the problem. We're fine with anyone becoming powerful over time. Just, you have some goblin who's like in a sewer and he realizes he can actually move something if he really concentrates, and then we have a whole movie about him getting powerful, and then he starts his own religion, and then the Jedi are like, no, you're a Jedi, and that could be a story. I want to see the Goblin Man fight the Jedi. There's my Star Wars story. There you go, Disney, make it. I'm on board. Goblin Man.
I want a Sith movie on Korriban. That'd be great.
I want a horror movie in the Star Wars universe. Gimme.
Oh, that's Star Wars Death Troopers. Not a movie, it's a book, and it's literally just Dead Space, but Star Wars.
And that's what I would say is actually doing a job of getting outside of what Star Wars is, more so than The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was just like a mess. Like somebody who likes the Star Wars, but thought that loads of it was wrong. Like, oh, they did this in the originals, and I didn't like that, so let's fix it. It's just like, no, please stop it. Stop him.
Each time I watch it, I found that idea more and more moving. I don't care who that kid with the broom is. It doesn't matter. What I do care about is the hope and determination I see in his eyes.
He looks pretty bored to me.
Where's the hope and determination exactly?
It's so I go over at the video. It's so dumb that he gets so inspired by the story from Luke when the only people who could tell it would have been from the perspective of the Resistance. All they saw was him walk outside. They don't really see what happens after that. They just have to assume. And then from the perspective of the Stormtroopers, it's like, oh well, he was a ghost. He was a hologram.
Yeah.
I don't know what. And then someone's like, "Oh, that sounds really heroic." It's like, I don't know what it was. he was there and then he was gone. I don't know. Like, why would kids get inspired by that compared to the story of Luke and his friends taking down the Death Star twice and obliterating the fascistic government? Like, how are they even remote? 30 years ago, and that has managed to become a story that's fallen into myth so hard that nobody finds it inspiring. It's like, how sad is that?
You're a Jedi, Harry.
Ever since George Lucas made that first film, Star Wars has been about how an ordinary person can escape their circumstances and become a part of something greater. And The Last Jedi is a movie that understands that. Okay, and now because I couldn't find a more natural way to incorporate them into the speech, I want to just mention a bunch of random little things I love in this movie. The incredible texture and color palette of Steve Yedlin's cinematography, John Williams' score, and how he weaves together countless leitmotifs from the entire
things that you could say about pretty much all the Star Wars films.
Or any film in general.
Yeah, a lot of mainstream, highly budgeted films these days. And I'm not even saying that as a criticism. I'm saying that when you have a very high budget, you can afford the very best lighting and camera and CGI artists. And I'm not saying that their craft isn't appreciable. It is appreciated, but it's unfair because the people who make indie films, who only have them, 2 friends, and $10 to make a film with, but have an incredible story, by this guy's standards, it would be like, nah, it was shit. And then he's like, the shit...
Someone in the chat pointed out that this contradicts what he said because apparently he said that the score was boring and forgettable.
Did he?
Wait, really?
When?
Did he?
I don't know. It was just someone said it in the chat. I don't know if it's actually true or not, to be honest.
Yeah, because I was going to say, he didn't say it in the Plot Holes video, but I haven't seen all of his Star Wars stuff.
Line.
Wipe that nervous expression off your face, 3PO.
The Giallo-esque design of Snoke's chamber, R2's cheap trick, when the Porgs are poking at the lightsaber, when the sad Porg looks at Chewie, when the Porg scream.
Oh god, okay.
This is all good stuff about the movie?
I'm sorry, but if you just...
They're small.
If you just listen off the Porg moments, I'm starting to like be like, oh, that's what you're looking for. Okay.
The super
to be fair, these are small things. Yeah.
Music
small things that you like.
Music, visuals, and
music
Porgs.
isn't small.
No, I'm saying he's listing
music
things.
Music isn't small.
He's listing everything outside of the fucking writing. We're just like, oh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone is in agreement that the movie didn't sound good. So I thought this video rather was supposed to be explaining the things that people are more contentious about, which is the story. No one's really contentious about like
I got frustrated.
how good some of the shots are.
I got frustrated at some of the music because it was like, I got the whole, you know, like if it was a great movie and then they referenced the old music.
You're talking about how they reused the Death Star.
But like, if I liked the film, I might have enjoyed that. But because I was getting so frustrated, I was like, "Don't you fucking take their music, put it back. It's not yours."
It's not that I disliked the music. It's just that like most of it was just remakes of songs we already had in the previous movies, and everything that was new didn't stand out enough for me to remember any of it.
Just during battle, when the Porg hits the window, when
Jesus Christ, he's actually gonna cite every single Porg thing.
Chewie swats the Porg off the dashboard. The Porgs are great.
Every Porg.
Oh jeez, man, you're like Disney's favorite customer. Like they made this for you, I think.
But remember, he said he's not a shill, and no reviewer ever shilled.
No,
I mean,
not a shill.
But he also said this is meant for children. I don't know what we're supposed to assume.
Meant for him. This was meant for him.
Yeah.
But Yoda, the way DJ wears his boots around his neck,
the way DJ wears his boots around his neck, and this is the guy who's saying that we need to stop trying to critique films because we don't know what we're talking about. Okay.
What does DJ wearing his boots around his neck add to his character at all?
It was cool. Shut up.
Moment when Hux thinks he can kill Kylo, when Poe rubs BB-8's belly, the whole design of Crate so that as warfare breaks out on the planet, it actually looks like it's bleeding. Luke's wink at C-3PO, the way Luke first saw Leia via a projection and the last time she sees him is a projection. See? It rhymes, like Lucas loves. This is a weird movie to talk.
Don't even, these connections are so irrelevant, like so tiny. So they be...
Okay.
They would be what I would call neat picks. It's like you just highlighted little things that just have no fucking relevance.
People are pointing out in the chat, BB-8 has a belly.
Apparently, I don't fucking know.
Apparently,
according to Patrick of House Willems, he's a very esteemed critic.
About this video ended up being longer than it should need to be because it's not enough to say why I think the movie is good.
It's longer than it needs to be because he didn't have enough time to say why. What?
Okay.
Just go one more time with that one.
Like Lucas loves. This is a weird movie to talk about. This video ended up being longer than it should need to be because it's not enough to say why I think the movie is good. I also have to
So the point of the video is to say why it's great, and the video ended up being longer than it needed to be because
not
it was
as
hard.
long as it needed to be.
He said it's longer than it needed to be, but he needed to explain why it's good when the intention was to explain why it's great. I am so confused by that line. But go ahead.
Preemptively responds to all the people who are going to say, but why didn't you talk about this thing that's bad? Months ago, I said there was no way I would make this video, but the truth is that since December, I haven't stopped thinking about The Last Jedi.
But it's a kids movie, dude.
Okay.
It's a kids movie, dude.
Okay, man, child. Okay.
Isn't it a kids movie? You stop thinking about the kids movie. You gotta be more adult and think about adult things. Stop thinking about the kids movie.
And to all the people who hate it, I wish that you could see what I see, because it's pretty great.
I wish that you could understand a single argument that was thrown against you and not strawman it.
And besides,
that's what I wish.
Patrick, give me one movie you do not like. Just give me one, and then I'll throw the exact same statement back at you. I wish you could see what I see in the room. I wish you could understand the quality of the room. It's like, it's like watching someone eat shit, and then you go, "Whoa, all right, you good." And he's like, "I wish you could taste what I taste." You're like, "I'm alright. I'm gonna eat real food. You can eat that, dude. I'm good." Not an argument is the short version of what I just said.
Go on.
And we're done. Guys, thank you so much. You were fantastic as always. Now I am going to take this footage and put it online. I'll see you later.
What about your parents?
It's gonna be for this. This will be the gag, I guess. This will be the payoff.
You don't think anyone is actually going to watch that, do you? I don't know. I would.
No one cares about you.
Ow. All
How about I say Jedi Schmedi?
Perfect.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, I think that deserves another one.
He likes his Squarespace and his, I'm assuming, Audible. It's where you can learn about The Last Jedi. Learn about writing. It'll be great, even though you can't really learn about writing because there's no such thing as good or bad writing. So yeah, that was it. We did it. I don't really know how to sum up that video.
He likes the milk titty monster scene. I think that's a good summary.
I mean, to explain why the Last Jedi is great, it's like you could have done way better than that. I could have done better than that. Like,
yes,
it's so meandering because he went from like, let me do a huge disclaimer for why anybody who doesn't already agree with me is an asshole. It's like, okay. And he was like, let me name a bunch of things that apparently aren't serious reasons for why it's good. Then let me revise how the actual scenes went and describe to you that characters are X without explaining it. And then ends with a bunch of random tiny things like porgs are awesome. So, yeah. I get that you like the film. I do not understand from what you've just given there any sort of reason why. I don't follow. Even a little bit.
I still... Yeah, it would be much better if you just come on in and just talk, like debate or...
Well, I mean, if Just Right...
why you actually like it.
If Just Right was anything to go by, you present them a contradiction and then they will say it doesn't matter. And that's how the conversation will go every time.
Wait. Wasn't that video that he shilled about Just Right the actual video that you were watching before Just Right came in?
No, we watched his follow-up one that explained that everybody has a different opinion on things. In case you had no idea about that.
Oh, jeez.
I was gonna say, I'm glad that I just shared that with you because you probably didn't know. You probably weren't aware that everybody is different. It's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably be able to do some form of another video. But I was going to say, podcast name. Everybody use that link who's not used it already, and you can vote on what name you think the podcast should have. I think that probably one of the most narratively suitable names is currently winning, but I mean the top two choices are pretty good. I guess I should read super chats as well because I've let them flow for a while. And
when you re-upload this on your Mueller channel, you should put the straw poll in the...
It'll be in the description, yeah. That'll make sense. I'll probably put in the top comment.
That's true.
So where are we? YouTube police, more like Yifgate. I mean, that's actually made me think. We're still hoping to get YMS on something like this eventually, and him and Wolf have that. They share that language that I'm far too high class to be able to engage in. It's it's still a hope for anybody who's wondering. I'm not sure what's going to happen though, because I don't know. It feels, if we couldn't get ER, it feels very unlikely that we get YMS, but you know, maybe.
Well, wait, at least YMS like responds. ER just vanishes for long periods of time.
This is true, but he started a Patreon recently, so maybe we'll be seeing more of more presence from him eventually. Like if he tries to go full time, I think that's his issue right now, is that he's not. The reason you can't understand their logic is because there is none. It's not supposed to make sense. You're supposed to follow without question. You're applying logic to illogical people. In fairness, he did actually make the video where he pretty much spat on logic, so... Those are all terrible. I thought the podcast names were alright. I thought they were pretty good. If you guys have got better suggestions, you know, if you want to keep an eye on the chat, Wolf, or Appabend, like if you guys think that they come up with better names, we'll go for it. If you remember, all the ones that are in there right now are all suggested from the audience. So,
someone said KFP, Kentucky Fried Porgs.
What, for a podcast name?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
There's only one T in Ireland, and that's Barry's. I don't get it if it's a reference. Fucking space wizards. That opening scene in TFA was really intended for children. Oh yeah, you know when they massacre all the innocent people? You guys remember that bit? All the innocent villagers who were like begging for mercy and they all get killed. Yeah, that was strictly a kids movie. Oh yeah, we read that one. It takes talent to have a 5 head and 0 points.
What?
A 5 head? Is he talking about? Oh, because Patrick Williams has. I think 5 head would be underestimated. You know when you put like your 4 fingers on your forehead that connects.
Oh, I get it.
I get it, but I mean, no offense
sneaky.
to no, like I'm really not trying to be a dick here, but like I've seen people's hairlines that are stronger than Patrick Williams. It's like you may as well shave at that point, because I don't know, like how far back that is. I don't think I've seen it go that far back on a person that age that hasn't decided to shave it. You know, most people do.
Yeah, like look, I'm 21, and I will admit it's not something I like to admit to because it's not something I like. But male pattern baldness runs in my family, and I got it at 21, and I'm not happy about it. But I would never let it get to that point. I just shave it bald, because at least I can grow a beard.
Yeah, go Kratos. Why not?
Yeah.
Wolf and Mauler do a podcast with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He's friends with Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. I mean, there's no limit on who we could have on this thing, to be honest. As long as they're okay with like being here for hours on end, ripping
Geeks
into like
and
one
Gamers
video.
is a lot like you, Mauler. He's gone up pretty quickly.
Sweet. I don't think I know him. I do know him through World Class Bullshitters in terms of like references, but I don't think I've seen the channel.
Oh yeah, I don't know him personally, but I have seen a few. I like his stuff.
His only argument was there was a jab at CG. Really, that's probably a reference to something that, I mean, it was a while ago now, so I'm not even sure. TLJ surprised me that a movie could be so Johnson. Bravo, Ryan. Bravo, fandom menace. Yeah, I mean, he's making another movie right now, isn't he? Some kind of, I think it's with Henry Cavill, is what I've heard. Some kind of thriller spy thing or something, or it could be someone else. But like everyone is now waiting to see it just to see if it's bad or something. I was like, I don't particularly care. Like, I'm not sure. I guess people are gonna hire him now because he's controversial. Would that be a good reason to hire a director/writer? I don't know.
Don't know.
Do you think his parents know he still lives with them? I hate the movie for all the reasons Mola pointed out. If you like it, great. You can ignore the narrative. This guy has never watched Star Wars ever. I don't think he lives with them. I think he visits them and I guess does this video because I don't know why the parents were in this video, to be perfectly honest with you. They seem
this kid, a pointless kid that he doesn't understand comedy.
Well, you like The Last Jedi. That's all about comedy, right? Right? His coffee pot looks like a T-Rex is coming. Oh, because of the vibrations. Under Canadian military law, Poe following the retreat order would be illegal. Following the retreat order? Well, in Crate? Also, yeah, I guess we don't even know what the laws are for the resistance, considering it's like a complete mess and there's 20 people left on a ship that's not even theirs. So
yeah, I don't even know.
If they had ever established that they were unable to get better bombs, then it would have been better. I don't see why they wouldn't have access to Y-wings, but I mean, why would they have access to those bombers, not bombers that are effective? It would be my question, I suppose.
Wait, didn't those bombers can hyperdrive to space? Like, why, if the bombers are gonna be destroyed anyway?
Oh yeah,
why
shit.
did they just hyperspace everything?
If you hyperspace literal bombs into somebody, surely that would do massive damage.
Massive damage.
All of the damage, tons of damage.
Oh, there was also somebody in the super chat said, "Oh my God, Ryan Johnson is so racist that he casted Asian people to do kamikaze bombings."
if this film was like hated by that crowd, they probably would have pointed that out. Like, honestly, that's the kind of shit they do.
The Chinese really hate this film. They do.
Didn't Solo like barely even make even a remote sense of like money? Like, it got booted out like straight away, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But The Last Jedi survived a week, I think, before it was pushed out. So, yeah. Even the Y-wings were made to be cheap, as they stripped out versions from the Clone Wars, and Rebels even show this. I don't think it's a matter. I don't know what it is, because they established that they buy stuff from the Canto Bight people, and for some reason they only bought literally the worst fucking ship in the history of Star Wars. They're like, let's buy loads of those ones. Saw Civil War, and your recommendation is pretty good. Theme meme aside, what are your thoughts on the thematic connection, motivation of revenge in Stark, Panther, and Zemo? I mean, it would be a lot to go into. It's probably going to be in my video on the film when we get there, but it's interesting you bring it up, because it's something you talk about without the film beating it into your face. You're like, did you notice that what connects all these characters is a sense of wanting to achieve revenge? While in The Last Jedi, you're like, did you notice this? Like, yes, I noticed. You're like, oh. Okay. It's like, how did you not notice?
Civil War is a well-made film. They don't really have to explain everything.
Yeah, no, it's very. I would argue it's very clear, but at least they did have a character go, do you know, revenge isn't always the best thing to do, and you need to learn to overcome it. You'd be like, oh my god, stop. Between this and a-holes using the anniversary of 9/11 to take petty jabs at President Trump, why haven't we nuked Earth yet? I think it'll take more than a couple of bad Star Wars films to push that button, but maybe we'll get there. The bombers could have tilted upwards and released their payload. Oh, you mean like in a way that makes it fire forward? If they have artificial gravity, that actually could work. As in, it doesn't matter how slowly they are pushed out, they would keep going. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's worth trying.
But it's very slow. It's gonna be very slow though, like traveling from the bombers. Like,
it would be hilariously slow, and it would be the most stupid fucking fight in history of anything. But it would be funny as hell to watch. It's like all of the people in the dreadnought.
If like chain. Like chain destroy bomb them. Yeah,
you get one TIE fighter to shoot the bomb, but it just blows up all of them. They're like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to redo it. Even if it has new things, it has to be compatible with the previously established story and satisfactorily answer questions that were left open. They don't believe in that, I'm afraid.
Yep.
And then this has to be a troll. Thank you for making these great videos. I love the rant on the Fallen Kingdom movie. Greetings from a fan from the Netherlands. Greetings. He's just liking things people hate to be contrary. I don't know. I think he thinks this was a good video. Do you guys get the impression this was a parody?
No.
I don't. I think this is like a real thing.
Even if it is, there are people who legit thinks that it isn't. So.
Oh, of course. Ryan Johnson has commented on this video, by the way, on Twitter. It was like a thread, and he said he's really glad that Patrick loved the movie. So, I seriously doubt that this is meant to be a joke.
Ryan Senpai noticed him.
We need Jared to take on Patrick Willems. There's a couple people asking for Jared. I'm afraid we're not doing Jared anymore. But this video, once it's uploaded, there's an explanation at the beginning.
Channel.
Yeah, when your podcast once per month, correct? You can plug that if you want.
Yeah, my podcast is once per month. It's going to be next Wednesday. We're going to have the Act Man on. A lot of people have requested him to come on past, so he was pretty okay with coming on with us, and we will cover Jared there, but
and me and Rags will be there, right? Oh. Is that me or is that you? That would be me.
Am I speaking in a vacuum here? What's going on?
I don't know if it was me or you. I think it must have been you. I don't know. Appabend didn't say anything, but it might have been my connection. But I couldn't hear a thing you were saying.
I couldn't hear either.
Yeah, the connection was really bad. I don't know. Just so happened the ping was just.
All right.
Dishonored robot.
If you want to quickly do that again, well.
What was I just talking about?
Actman, me, Rags, podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. Us, Actman, Jared, next Wednesday.
There you go.
At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Is that going to be live?
Yes, I will. People have asked me to do both. People want it live, but they also want our icons to be lit up. So at first I was like, okay, well, I'll just like do it offline, then I'll light up the icon. But people still want it live, so I'll do it live, edit it later, and put it back up afterwards.
Why don't you just do what I do?
Well, I'm still going to do like this kind of ish format where we're at the bottom and it's just showing the Discord one, but I gotta edit in the intro because otherwise we're gonna be sitting here for 5 minutes saying nothing till podcast comes on. So we'll be streamed live and then like within like I want to say the next day or so it'll be uploaded with the intro and shit.
Fair enough.
Go watch it.
I think this deserves a
for that.
Muller response video just for the Milk Monster comment. Again, I think he was joking on that point. We can give him that, but he's made such bizarre comments that we took it for 100% real. Assuming it isn't real, I don't 100% know for sure. Debate this movie with this man immediately. He's not going to talk to us. Patrick wouldn't want to talk to us, I don't think. Here's a good question to ask this hippie bastard. Where does he think the Resistance get their damn weapons from these 1%ers? Yeah, exactly. Again, the film contradicts itself, so I don't know why we're supposed to feel that the Resistance is the answer to this horrible crime when they're the ones that are propagating it anyway. Yeah, Resistance bought weapons from Canto Bite slavers. Let me explain why TLA is good by stating things I like and not explaining why they actually make it great. You just have boring taste, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, that could sum up the video. Progress.
Wait, did they say TLA?
Well, yeah, I guess they mixed TFA and TLJ.
The Last Awaken.
Progress towards jumping off a cliff is still progress. True. I like how Kylo's best scene, him tricking Han in order to buy time, which feels like something Solo's son would do, was actually supposed to show him being weak when Driver played it full heel. Again, I don't understand his character at all, Kylo's. You can see breakdowns, but the breakdowns will literally just describe the scenes to you as if it's layered and it's complicated, when it's just like, huh? Why? Why is any of this happening? Kylo Ren is
he can't make up his mind what side he wants to take on.
And again, like is he gonna be full on villain in episode 9? Like, is that gonna be?
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun, isn't it? What if Rey fights him at the end and she beats him? Won't that be crazy? He'd be like, oh. But then if she loses to him,
the same thing again.
Oh,
yeah,
like I said, super curious about what they're gonna do with episode 9 just for that.
Someone in the chat pointed out that he deleted comment on his video, so he definitely wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah, a lot of people said that he deleted my comment, and then I loaded it up the other day and I couldn't find it. I don't, considering what's been going on lately on YouTube, like a lot of people say that comments get deleted, and a lot of people are like, no, they don't, they're still there. Like, I'm not saying anything definitive, but I mean, it could have been. Who knows?
It could be.
Yeah, like, I don't know for sure. If there's a way to find out for sure, then, fair enough. But he could easily just argue that it was picked up by the spam filter, and then say that it just picked a random word, even though my comment is very, mundane, but whatever. Kylo Ren is a poor ripoff of Jack and Solo. This is Matthew Mundane Matt gets accused of it all the time, but his videos are still filled with negative comments, So this is like, I doubt he's deleted them, but I guess he could be. At this point, anyway. Maybe before, I could have definitely believed it. Luke says Kylo was influenced by Snoke, so Kylo had a choice between Luke and Snoke, but then Luke tried to murder him, so the choice was obvious, and Kylo just killed everyone. That's a story I'd like to see. Instead of...
They didn't explain it well.
Like, I don't get why you wouldn't want to show it. Like, as this kid is growing up, he's getting whispers from Snoke, and how power is you know, just it's gonna have to be power, because what else would it be? And but yeah, it's jarring considering what we got. Kylo switches between face and heel more often than the Big Show. That's a reference to wrestling, and I barely watched it, but I knew about Big Show because I played some of the wrestling games on GameCube, and he was in it. Let me guess, Patrick doesn't want us to point out plot holes again either, right? Well, that's the thing, right? A lot of the criticisms I have of his points are recognizing the holes in the story that fuck it up, and then he'd be like, why are you talking about them? They don't matter. And I guess it comes down to, it's like, well, couldn't you argue for literally any piece of fiction that way? So every film is automatically a masterpiece? Like, I don't... Wait, are you okay?
sorry. I was looking at somebody who photoshopped Idris Elba to Siri.
Oh, yeah. I thought, didn't you post that already, or was it a new one?
No,
that one was Terry Crews.
Oh.
This one was Idris Elba.
Oh, right.
Man, I'm not getting notifications for those. That's weird.
Does Patrick realize he's defending a racist like Ruin that casted the only 2 Asian people in 2 separate kamikaze runs? That was what you were probably talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Okay,
Sorry, I was looking at the Idris Elba one.
I am the last Jedi. Oh, you want me to post this one, huh?
Yes, it's amazing.
Are they as good as the Jaretti Mundi one that was like...
It's so good.
You know that they would have had to search for that for a while, like the right image to be able to make it work.
Yeah, but they did so good.
They did an actual really good job there. I'll have to check my Twitter notifications soon. Finn saying Rebel Scum reminds me of Jin saying May the Force be with you for no reason but fan service. Yes, agreed. Waiting for the random shot of CinemaSins. Yeah, that never happened.
That never happened.
Oh, unless he did it in here somewhere. Actually, wait, yeah, what's at the end?
At this point, Star Wars, because The Last Jedi, the usual stuff on our podcast. Hey guys, thank you for watching. I want to thank LC the LC.
Wait,
plugs.
I was just gonna say it's like reflecting back off your mic as well.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I thought it was only me. I was like, why is it echoing?
Help us make these videos, and look, I know people will be angry at this video, even though it's just me talking about why I like a movie.
I mean, you know, if you actively lie...
No, we're not angry, we're laughing.
If you lie about what happens in the movie, and you shit on the people that didn't like it right at the beginning, you could probably picture why people might have a problem with it. You also very vitriolically told people to shut up about plot holes. Like, why do you pretend like you're some kind of innocent creature just sharing your perspective?
He needs to put a couple more parentheses on either side of that H.
Patrick didn't do
Please
nothing.
don't send me a 2,000-word email about why I'm wrong, because I won't read it. And look, this is the last time I'm going to talk about Star Wars or The Last Jedi in a video for a while.
Good.
At least for the rest of the year.
I'll keep that word.
And what is a while in your idea? Is it like 2 days? It'll be interesting to see if he like does this maybe next year. He'd be like, oh well, I guess he's gonna have to talk about episode 9, isn't he? He'd be like, people are still angry. I can't, dude. Imagine episode 9 is like good, and then all the people who loved episode 8 are like, Patrick, episode 9 is terrible. They like ruined Star Wars. It'd be so funny if that ends up happening.
It's just exhausting at this point, and I've said everything I want to say.
I'm sure it is exhausting. It just makes shit up.
What the hell is he? It's so exhausting to do the things I want to do. It's like, okay.
It's just so exhausting.
It's unfortunate for you. Nolan envy. That's probably tied to it. He's probably annoyed that everyone appreciates Nolan films while everyone's shitting on the Rian Johnson ones. I mean, not all of Nolan films, but a lot of people like Looper, so, you know, calm down. You're alright.
Looper was bleh.
I didn't like Looper that much, but I know a lot of people did like it. That's the point.
Yeah, a lot of people did like it, but it was...
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about the choreography in the throne room fight, but the one thing no one can deny is the fact that they edited out a knife in order to save Rey from dying. That's something that actually happened. So, have you
Oh, yeah, like, I saw that.
Like, people who loved that fight, are they literally going to say, like, that doesn't matter? That's not important. It's like, okay, fine, nothing matters. Hope is like the sunrise. It's true. My parents would stroke out if I was him. Probably. He probably has an IMDb page dedicated to poorly written comedies. I mean, he thinks that he's got like a way better perspective on this than us, because we're just random dudes who didn't go to film school. So he probably wouldn't take you seriously on that comment. Anyway, please do this every frame of pause with The Last Jedi is Amazing by Major Lee. That video is actually in our suggestion thing. We've got like a backlog, but I just got through all the super chats that I've ignored for like 2 hours, so that's actually feels like an achievement now. So we have choices here. Since we're up to 3 hours, you guys, we can end and talk about, you know, maybe doing it another time, or we could go for another video.
I have one, but it's just a very short video.
Well, oh, you have like a
Very
suggestion.
short.
It's just a short video showing what Rags has been doing.
Huh? Well, like a criticism one or a good one?
No, not a criticism of him. Just him receiving a prosthetic leg. It's kind of cute.
Oh, you mean it's an actual doggo getting a prosthetic leg? You want to watch that on this?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're usually very evil to things.
Maybe we can find a way to be evil about this.
All right, yeah, we'll nitpick the dog video.
All right.
Did you think that would sound good on our end? Because it doesn't. It sounds horrible. When did Just Right
It sounded so bad.
Just Right promoted Patrick Williams on Twitter a lot, and I don't know if he might have him in his newest video, considering he put him in this video. So, and Backstroke of the West.
Oh shit, it's a Twitter video.
Everyone wants us to see Backstroke of the West as well at some point. It's on a to-do list. There's just so many things to do and see.
Well, in that case, I don't have it. It's a Twitter video.
Watch some Downward Bilbo.
But yeah, because I don't know if I haven't really got any video suggestions that are like below 10 minutes or anything, and considering we just did 3 hours out of a 20-minute video, that's actually insane. It must have been.
Hey, it's better than 5.5 on 2 11-minute videos.
That is true. And you know, just it's not supposed to be a 5-hour podcast every time, guys. It's all good. It's not supposed to be what we're aiming for.
I mean, 3 is pretty. 3 is enough.
Yeah, and if this is going to be weekly, don't worry, we shall return. But yeah, I think I'm happy enough to stop there. You guys feeling good?
Yeah.
Yes.
In that.
Sorry that Rex didn't come.
What? One at a time.
Someone said we should watch AVP2, and it's like,
what?
No.
We can't just watch anything. We'll get flagged.
Yeah.
Even if we did, I just don't want to watch AVP2 ever again.
Yeah, no, that was.
It's too freaking dark. You can't even see shit.
Oh,
in
that's
AVP2.
the least of its problems. That's such a terrible film.
So
yeah,
I'll just say. So again, last chance to vote on the straw poll. I'll just spam it again. We're going to be deciding of figuring out a name, whichever one sounds the best. It's not too important, but it'd be nice to actually have titles instead of nothing. This video that you're listening to right now will not be on my channel. It'll be on my second one, which is linked by here. So, you know, subscribe if you want to see it. And our guest this week, the first ever guest we had, it was beautiful, was Appabend, and his channel will be going into the. Oh wait, sell your channel. Why should they subscribe to you?
He's brown.
I'm brown. No, I mean, well, my channel is actually no. I wouldn't plug it because my videos are garbage. But if you want to check it out, it's right there, right down below.
Does it show up for you guys? Because for me, chat's like frozen now.
No, my
chat's still moving up for me.
Either one of either of you want to post that in there, so one of my mods can spam it instead. Because apparently maybe I'm timed out. My chat's just stopped working.
No. You already posted it.
Oh, okay, good. Because chat's not working for me now. I hope it's still around. Anyway,
that'll happen with your chat.
But oh, there you go. It's come back. And yes,
okay,
may as well. What's happening next on your channel, Appabend? What are you covering next?
Well, I'm not really sure. Probably just gonna do a stream. Just stream a bunch of memes and really weird videos and hot takes on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm not really sure. It depends entirely on what's really hot today But yeah. Also, oh, I forgot. I was about to do a review of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's one of the games that I've been wanting to play because the previous two has been really not great, and I really want this game to at least do something. But other than that, not much.
That's interesting.
Why? Go on, conflict. Fight each other.
It's interesting because I also want to review Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I liked the last two games.
Oh really? Oh really?
Yes.
Oh really?
I liked the second one more in terms of gameplay. I thought its story was shit in the second one.
Exactly. That's my point. The story of the first two games were not great, but the gameplay was pretty good. I love the gameplay. It's fun.
Wolf implied that you liked the first
game was alright.
The
second game though, it's just like well, we're not really going to be able to fight about much in the second game because the second game's story was legitimately shit. Thought the first game's story was like, yeah, it's okay. It's not anything amazing, but it was like, I liked it. Fun.
Mm-hmm.
No response. How about that?
ER's Korra video sucked. Fight me. Well, you're wrong.
ER's Korra video sucked. No. No.
I love the Korra video. It's fun as fuck for somebody who hasn't even got a context. I feel like I could explain to people why Korra is terrible without having seen it. It's he even tries to like argue for it at certain points. He's like, oh, this is kind of a good idea that they could use, and then they ruin it. But yeah, so
yeah, season 1, like I've watched all entirety of Korra. Season 1 was okay. Like it's nothing great, but I can certainly see people why I hated it. Season 2 was fucking shit. Was garbage. The last 2 seasons was too late to be good. So I just gonna say it's a mixed bag overall with Korra.
Wolf, what's happening on your channel soon? Next.
I got a video on The Gray coming out in the next few days. I haven't had a whole time to actually.
Speaking of Liam Neeson films, have you seen? Speaking of Liam Neeson films, have you seen any of the, like, what was that Liam Neeson film where he was on a? Was it on a plane? Was it on a plane or was it on a train?
Non-stop.
Yeah.
Non-stop. Yeah. Non-stop.
Yeah,
I thought that film. What do you think about that film?
It was stupid, but it was fun as fuck.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, when I went up to my friend to ask if he wanted to see it, I was like, "Hey, you want to watch him shoots people on an airplane?" And he was like, "Yes." So that's really all we needed to know.
Wait, someone just asked, "What is that shit Patrick has for sale?" I was like, I don't know, because there's a thing on the screen. This is a person's face, so I can't.
No, just hover to that. Hover to that picture.
Yeah.
That's a channel. The channel's name is very weird.
Sappho of Lesbos. Elsie the intern, I guess. That's his intern. But it just looks funny because it's like I'm selling a shirt with just her face like maximized onto it.
No. That's actually the channel.
No, I know.
Up. His actual shirt. His actual shirt is just.
What a wonderful name.
But yes. So The Gray. What else you got?
Working on an objectivity video.
Controversial.
Oh, I would love to see that.
You make a lot of enemies.
Because I've been
with that
seeing
one.
you like just roasting people on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. Not finished yet. The Gray video will be out first because that one I used to have the script and video footage for. I just need to actually record it and then edit it all together. Objectivity video, I don't know when that's going to be out. Still working on the Lord of the Rings video. But yeah, Act Man on the podcast next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. EST.
There you go. And for me, I'm going to do a video on The Predator when I finally see it, and then I'm back to working on the TFA, which is like month number 4 or 5, but I'm actually getting there. The editing has begun, but it's being paused in favor of The Predator. But it should speed up.
The Predator is gonna be released tomorrow at my time. On my time, so I will see it too. Apparently, they have MCU level humor in there that is so out of place.
It's Shane Black. He forces humor like wherever he goes. I don't know. He's given serious content. He's just like jokes for everyone, jokes, and you're like, oh, okay. He did it to Iron Man 3 when he shouldn't have, and he's doing it to Predator, which I don't know, man. I remember the days when Predator wasn't a comedy, personally. All right, that's where I was.
The first movie.
I mean, the first half of the film at least was pretty funny. Like when Arnold Schwarzenegger tries to pin the guy down, throwing his knife on him, it's just like, what did he say? I forgot what did he say. Stick around. That was fucking.
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, it's a one-liner though. They're all over action movies, and obviously that's when it's an action movie. It turns into a horror movie. It doesn't do one-liners at that point, aside from saying he's an ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, they established it as an action movie first before it actually turns to a horror film.
It's subversive.
Ain't got no time to bleed.
That's just a fantastic line. But yes, so that's still coming, and I think I have to do an update for that tomorrow on Patreon. Those are free and they're more detailed. They'll be able to get you more of a idea of how much progress has been made. Watch Maul vs. Obi-Wan and Rebels.
Any more Unbridled Rage?
Yeah, I'm almost, judging from what YMS has said and the trailers and the leaked script, I'm pretty sure Predator is going to be terrible. So you can bet I'll be making a video on that, because Predator is one of my favorite films of all time. So we're gonna be dealing with a shitty Predator. That'll probably be like a week after I see it.
There are a couple more super chats where you're talking.
I was gonna say they want a quick update with what went wrong with Jared. That's at the beginning of this video, but I suppose we could bookend it. Do you want to do a quick explanation again, Wolf?
Yes. Okay. So Jared lost his mind, whatever there was to lose, and deleted his channel because he didn't think that there was enough 32-year-old men such as himself who were just like him, because apparently he thought every one of his fans were Minecraft fanboys and children.
I don't know where he got that.
No, I don't know either. And he said he's a man of substance, which is true, but not in the sense that he wants it to be true. And he deleted his channel, made a new one, because he said he's okay with only having a few subscribers as long as they're just like him. So there you have it.
Yeah, and
I'll still be covering him on my channel, but we won't be doing it here.
He said he didn't want to be a meme, and he didn't want to be, what was it? He didn't want to be a novelty, which there's no way I could describe him as anything else on this channel. He's absolutely a novelty, but I thought that it was a relationship that he could definitely benefit from, because he was getting a lot of subscribers and there were people in there that actually cared about what he had to say. So I figured, why wouldn't he want that? But he actually said something along the lines of he was having to make stupid videos, but nobody asked for the one where he was in a thong dancing. I don't think anyone asked for it anyway. It was a bit weird.
I mean, I don't think anyone's ever asked to make a video in his life, so
yeah.
Jared's just naturally kind of makes the worst content on YouTube, or at least worst from a certain point of view. Best if you're on this podcast and you're laughing at it.
And he will still be covered on Wolf's podcast, and I think it'll be amusing to see how the Appabend reacts to a Jared. You got to pick the best Jared video. I don't even know what you're gonna. Have you got any idea what you're gonna go with? Or
I gotta find a new one because he deleted his whole fucking channel.
You remember that purple-haired bear chick? Like, the fuck, man.
What the hell, man?
Jared, forever in our memories.
Press F for Jared.
But yes, that is it, I suppose. It's been a lot of fun. Again, you can find this on my second channel if you really want it. This video, because it's absolutely been terrible, but I've had a lot of fun. So I suppose it's time to say goodbye, folks.
Yay!
Just completely ruined the tone of the end. We're just like,
well, I have to. I've been doing. I gotta stay consistent. I'm more consistent than Patrick Willems. I can say that at least.
True. But yes, goodbye, everyone. Yep. It's been fun.
Fabulous. Yeah.